Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the VPPL finals. This is week 4 of the finals, and we have 2 matches tonight. Marc Robertson, who was defeated last week by Mick Skerry 11-10, versus Gavin Roberts, who beat... I can't remember who he beat. Sorry about that. Actually, he beat Travis Martin. I think it was 11-8 from memory to score. And also in the other final, we've got Steve Jamieon, who lost to myself 11-8 last week, and Peter Butterworth, who I believe beat Paul Keezer 11-8 as well. So expect some different contrasts of matches tonight. If I was to put this in UFC terms, I would say that the Steve Jamieon-Peter Butterworth match will be very reminiscent of your Mark Hunt versus Bigfoot match. If you have never seen that fight, go on YouTube, Mark Hunt versus Bigfoot. It's just a complete slugfest, so I expect these two to just go at it. And Marc Robertson, Gavin Roberts match, Robbo has hurt his shoulder, so he was very specific to let me know that he will not be able to power break tonight. So apparently his shoulder is directly attached to his heart muscle, so we may see some tactical frames. So if we're going to compare this in UFC terms, there might be a few stand-up wars, but there might be a bit of a ground game happening as well. And to be fair, I think Robbo's probably got the advantage in both games, although Gavin can bench press a 9-ball table, so it'll be interesting to see how Gav goes. He's gone all the way through the wildcard rounds, and he's wound himself up with a big showdown. So both tables lagging for the break, and both fairly strong lags, and Butters decides I will show you how to lag Steve Jamieon and land perfect.
The question is, we can go into a corner or centre?
So I'm sure both players want a lag or break. And last week I went back and watched the matches, and I heard Robbo, the guys commentating, talking about Robbo starting his tactics early with a spilt Blue Heaven milkshake on the floor. That was actually me that did that. I just sat in a chair and leant up against the bench, and it just went flying everywhere. I just didn't even give it a thought until tonight, and I thought, well, I probably should replace that. So Robbo's got a fresh Blue Heaven milkshake in his hands. Anyway, we'll try and give both matches as much coverage as possible. I have a suspicion, though, we may concentrate a little more on the Jamo Butters match, because I think it will finish first. I think it will be more open and aggressive. But Gavin has the first opportunity on reds, and they're a little clustered down the bottom end of the table, but funnily enough, all balls are on, but I'm just wondering about the black. May need to just get a little nudge on the black just to free it from the yellow. And I think this is actually a good time to do it. Play the ball on the right-hand side and just run through enough, just so you've got an angle to just nudge the top side of the black, and that'll just take you past the red that's just above the black now, and you'll be on the ball to the left of that. The thing about these shots is you need to actually be completely perfect with your white ball, and he might just have a little bit of angle that won't allow him to do that. It looks okay, a little close to the cushion, but he probably needed to do that to get the angle. Camera angles can be deceiving, but I have a suspicion he's actually going into the yellow and black together, so it may not be ideal. If that is the case, I'd probably power through it a little, not smash it, but just power through it, and just give yourself every opportunity to be on a ball. Well, he's done that, and he would have been pretty stiff not to be on the ball at the top, so long range shot about to come up. Good thing about this shot, doesn't really need to do too much of the white, although ideally a touch of right hand side would be preferred. You can actually see him lining up there with, I think, maybe a little right hand side. Oh no, he's playing plain ball. And I'll tell you what, I've misjudged that because you could not have hit that any better. And now key shot here as far as position for the Blacks concerned. Does he want to play it into the left centre or the bottom left corner? And it will all depend on the angle that he can get on this red. On the final red, that is. It looks pretty straight, so I would guess that he's going to just screw back to pretty much where the white ball is now and just drop the black into the centre. Meanwhile, bottom of your screen as well, Steve Jamieson, just a delicate little shot there on the corner. Nicely played, and he will get position on the black for the next shot. So here comes a shot from Gav. He's not sure about it. He might even have the just slightly wrong angle going downside the table. Playing for the double, I think. Oh no, he's played it very well. And also bottom of your screen you can see Jamo's played a good position on the black, slightly hampered queuing. So one good little drop in here from Gav to take first blood. And that is in, and that's a very nice clearance from Gav. Meanwhile, you've just managed to capture Steve Jamison's black as well, so I think both of those were pot outs off either a missed no ball off the break, or I think Gav broke that frame, I can't remember. And there's just a picture of the trophy, I assume, that we're all playing for. No, that's just a random trophy. In fact, it might be a state team trophy. Robbo thought he'd leave his trophies at the Victorian presentation just so he could show them off tonight in front of everyone. Try and put some fear into the players, but hasn't worked so far. Nice break from Steve, and well, this is one of those frames where I don't really believe you should be going for the out, mainly because this black is just in Death Street. I'd actually probably take yellows here, to be honest, and probably play the plant and just try and put the yellow over the pocket, take the white ball to the bottom cushion. That would be my preferred shot. Just looking at the table at first glance, I mean, I'm sure Steve's looking at something more aggressive. But I just like the shot. If it does go in though, you probably don't have a huge amount on offer afterwards, although you would be able to free up the yellow near the black and put in a nice little snooker. So he's played the shot I've said, but he's caught the red on the way through. It'd be interesting to see if Butters actually drops this red over the pocket. These are the sort of outs Butters likes to go for, where he'd drop this ball in the corner, play the double, screw up the table for the ball on the bulk cushion, and basically just go bananas trying to produce every shot. But percentages tell me either get this out, play this double onto the other red, or get something over the pocket. That's not bad. So suddenly that yellow that Steve has put over the pocket has become completely useless to this frame. I won't say completely useless. It may pan out to be better later, but Steve plays the smart shot really, and just pots the red over the pocket, takes any control Butters had away, and now it's up to Butters to either produce with two or reassert his control of the frame with the two visits he has. Can flick off this red on the bottom cushion and then put it back over the hole again. But Butters says, nope, I'm going to take this big pot on, and if I get this, I'm a chance. That's a nice pot. Actually thought that was in, my bad. Now you can see by taking that pot on, if you don't get it, you actually put yourself in trouble. There's not really a lot on offer. Even if he just drops the ball in over the hole, gives himself an angle on the red on the cushion to bring himself back down the table. It's a tough ask from here to really do much. But Butters is made of creative blood, and we'll see what he comes up with. Surely he's not going to just drop this over the pocket. Just don't see the advantage of this. And he's loading up. This is a tough shot, this to actually play it with pace. And that was the danger. They're not easy on these tables at pace. But he's actually got a pretty awesome result, to be fair. That red could have gone anywhere, and it's actually moved the yellow that was on the black. He's covered the pocket of 2 or 3 yellows. And all these balls are potentially available. I'm not sure about that one that's just above the yellow in the centre of the table. That could be Steve's saving grace for now. But having said that, one good shot from Steve just to get a little cannon somewhere in that little cluster. And you'd be right amongst them, and he's gone berserk. I think that was rash, to be fair. And I think that's where you're going to see a lot of mistakes made. It's just taking on big shots, trusting to a little bit of luck with where balls land, because there was no way to control that shot if you're going to play it at that pace. You're not going to know exactly where the ball goes that he's played the plant onto. And I'm not sure if he's got a foul snooker. I'm pretty sure he does. I just don't know whether he'd have a foul snooker if he took the bite ball into the balk line. If he was to put the white ball on the very top side of the table, as you can see now, whether it would still be a foul snooker on the top side of that red. He's just looking at it. He's nominated a yellow, has he? Well, he's tried to develop the ball. It's not perfect by any means. It's a tough little cut, this, and he's actually got to play it with a lot of left-hand side to try and sneak in the gap, and then also avoid the in-off in the bottom right corner. It's a tough shot, this. I'd be personally really happy with this over the pocket. Yeah, I'd be happy with that if I was Butters. And now this is where I believe Steve needs to think, well, okay, potting out here is probably not the thing to look for. What's a good safety? And I think, obviously, you don't want to leave Butters on either ball, but if anything, if I was going to leave him on a ball, I'd want to leave him on the ball that's near the pocket, but not in such a way where he can screw across the table and land on the other ball. If you could leave him really straight on it where he couldn't screw across and he had to play it into the bottom right corner, getting position on the black would be really tricky. The only reason I don't like leaving him on the ball on the cushion is you can just bump it out, leave a dodgy white. But this top ball's looking like the favourable option. So he's buried that white top end of the table, and he may have done exactly what I've suggested, and it left him on that red over the pocket, but not in such a way where he can get cross table to the same pocket. I don't mind that shot. Well, he's playing at dead weight. I'm not sure if it's drifted a little or not. Now that camera angle suggests that he can't get the... Well, what's he doing here? He's going to flick off this again, is he? Yeah, I'm not sure I like this shot. Let's go back to the top side, that overhead again, Dan. Well, Side cushion looks available. This is what I was talking about before, the dead weight shot on this ball on the bottom cushion. Oh, I'll tell you what, I don't know if I like that. It's actually given Steve a bit of a shot to nothing here. I think I'd have been tempted to play it on the other side and just really put Steve under the hammer. This sort of gives him a shot where he doesn't have to do a lot with the white. Obviously the out still really tough. But you can sort of sense that Butters is becoming a more and more firm favourite now. This frame. And that was the obvious shot to play, but I feel that is the shot that actually will lose you the frame. Butters all he's got to do now is just dribble up off the bottom cushion into this red over the pocket, and he's just going to put Steve in a world of hurt. I'm pretty sure it's not frozen. If it is, might not be a bad shot. I thought maybe he could actually get to the red that was closest to the white, but so and as you can see now, that option that Steve's chosen has put him in actually a world of hurt. And that's why the obvious shot to get a snooker is not always a good one. You need to come up with something a little better than that. So, meanwhile, Gavin Roberts, bottom of the table, he's looking like winning another frame here. If Gavin's going to win tonight against Robbo, he actually has to take every chance that he gets. He can't actually afford to make any mistakes against Robbo at all, and that to me looks like a big mistake. It's actually a horrible shot. So I was actually looking at the bottom of the screen and didn't see what Steve did, but it looks okay. But he could be in a similar spot in a second snookered. Pretty sure Butters will be happy with that. I'd be very interested to see. Can you go to the side table view for a sec, Dan? I just want to see if Steve can get through to the edge of this red. I think he can. If he can actually just flick off this really thin, take the white ball to the bulk end of the table. Actually, thin is no good. It will leave the plant. You actually want to leave them on the ball over the pocket, but restricted access to the red. But by moving this yellow, it's actually going to open up the pathway to the red. So this is a tricky spot. Might be flicking off this thin, trying to get behind on the bottom right side of the table, hide behind this sort of mini wall of yellows that he's got. If he has played for that, he's underhit it really too much or hit it too thick. So he's left this plant on. It's a bit tricky. Gavin Roberts, he's got a second chance down there. Like I said, he's got to, if he doesn't take his chances when they're there, like especially the easy ones, like that last shot he had, he will not win the match. But if he takes his chances, then he's a big chance to win the match. Like he's going to get some opportunities, just like against any player. But with a player of Robbo's calibre, you must take all chances presented. And I think that's why he's won so many matches in this league, is people just haven't been punishing him for his errors. So Butters gets on the board, 1-1. I think Steve, we were talking earlier before this match started tonight, and he said he was looking forward to going back and watching some of, watching his matches, his shot selection, what I suggest as an option. I think that will be a good starting point, good frame for him to sort of look at some of his options. Great shot there from Gavin Roberts. That is an excellent black, and he goes 2-0 up on Robbo. So these guys are keeping up with each other at the moment. 2 frames apiece have been played. Nice break there from Butters. Good spread. Balls everywhere. Good control of the white, and he will nominate reds. Just really quickly check there to see these bottom two reds are the issue. And if that bottom two of those two that are stuck together does go, like you can get the white in between the gap of the yellow and the red, he'll be feeling pretty good about this out. Good shot there of Butters as he cues out the side of his ear. Now, he's either decided that he doesn't like picking that gap or it's not on, so he's going to play, he's played for this angle to go into these two reds now and develop. You've got to be careful. If he catches full ball, he's a good chance to kill this red on the side rail if he doesn't get the pace right or that. So this out just became a little trickier. I think this red, the top of the two that are stuck together, I think it goes clean. So if he can just get himself an angle where he can just bump the other yellow out of the way, he'll still be feeling good about this. And that's perfectly played. So he's got to run through now to the angle I was talking about, where he's just going to play. It's pretty much a dead weight shot where you'll just drop the red in, the white ball will just nudge the yellow out of the way. And you can see him checking it now, exactly where he wants to be. This is one of those shots where just even a couple of mil, not so much with this one, but a lot of these sort of shots where you've got to get the right angle, just a couple of mil can actually make the hugest of differences. This one's not too bad, as long as you go, well, he's actually gone the opposite to what I've said, and he said, I'm going to not worry about a cannon, I'm just going to pot this clean and play for the other red in the corner. And you know what, that is probably the smarter option. So I've learned something there. Look at that. All my stupid talk about cannons and carrying on like that and getting the right angles, just how about just land on it perfect. Hasn't actually got the perfect angle here though. We'll probably screw off this with some left-hand side just to bring the white right out and give himself a choice of pockets. Oh, he's missed the pot. He actually jabbed at that a little. So Steve will actually be absolutely buzzing to get to the table there, because it looked like he was just no chance. Especially, I think Butters planned that out quite well after he got that cannon that he didn't work out as planned. I thought he reassessed well. If I'm Stevie, I actually play this in the middle and play for a shot to nothing double straight away on that ball on the right hand side cushion. So I would have hit that probably another foot harder and just play for the shot to nothing double. If you get it, you're flying. If you don't get it, the white ball's up on the nameplate and you're looking fine still. So there's another one for you, Steve. He may still spot it and play it, but it may just be eliminating a couple more balls first. So you can see there from that angle, his angle to play for the double next is not there. And this is the aggressive Steve Jamieson. The pot the ball, get the cannon on the ball on the rail. I don't know. He must be happy to just drop this into the centre dead weight. Or it's a lot easier than what it looks on screen. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I like it, Steve. Well played. And this one here as well, you can either play it with just right-hand side, or you can stun it a little. Or you can play it plain ball and land perfect. I've misjudged so many angles tonight already, and I'm sure there are many more to come. That is a really nice shot there from Steve as well. Yes, it's just a clean pot, but it was actually a little stun run through that shot. Not the easiest shot to play with the small white. So Gavin Robertson, assuming he's on reds, and to me it looks like he desperately wants to be on this red that's just hampered by the black. Oh no, he's on the yellows. So he was actually checking the availability of the black, maybe. But if I'm Gavin here, I'm pretty happy if this goes neatly over the pocket. Only because of this yellow on the right-hand side of the table and the cushion, there's no gimme. So he has tried to put this over the pocket neatly, and, well, I'm not sure it's good enough. I don't think the red will pot clean, but it will certainly go in front of the yellow and cause Gavin a few problems. Not this shot, of course. Robbo's going to be forced to eliminate the ball over the pocket, which will free up the yellow down the cushion. So Robbo should choose to put this red over the pocket. It could actually be to his detriment later in the frame. So I'll be interested to see what Robbo comes up with here. And just while Robbo's making his decision here, because he probably will take a bit of time on this, because it's not as clear cut and black and white as what one might think first when they look at it. Mick Scary was supposed to commentate with me today, but he actually was too scared to verbally spar with me on the mic, so he's pulled out. So he's probably watching at home, getting some tips. Good on you, Mick. And he gave me an absolute roasting last week as well. I did encourage him though, I will say. So it wasn't just a barrage of smash me to pieces commentary night. I did actually egg him on to give me a hard time. I think I deserve it with all the hard time I give other people on the mic. So Robbo with the thin cut puts this yellow over the hole. Now this is what I'm talking about. Yes, he's got control at the moment, but Robbo can't pot out with that red there, and he has less soldiers on the battlefield than what Gavin does. So it'd be interesting to see what Gavin comes up with. Whatever the plan is, he cannot allow Robbo to bring this red that's on the open area of the table to the bottom left-hand side of the table. This was the first shot I saw. I didn't like it. Has played it well, but the reason I don't like, I would actually rather leave Robbo on this red, but shooting it up the table. And this is all Robbo's going to do all frame if Gavin keeps playing shots like that. It's just restricting him to one shot. Now, why this? I don't mind leaving Robbo on the ball over the pocket while that yellow's like that, because for Robbo to pot the red, I don't think he can do it in such a way to bring the yellow out so the black is in play and be on the red at the same time that's still remaining. I mean, yes, the chances of him playing for a double are there, but I think at the moment you've kind of got to force Robbo into playing something big, or just get him to take this red away from play. While you just keep playing up the table like this, he's just going to keep restricting him to one shot. But if Gav is patient, Robbo may try and play something a little more adventurous. Now, I like that shot almost, because he's almost blocked that path off cross table with the red. And so I don't mind this ball down the cushion right now. Can you add the side table for a second, Dan? And I just want to see if this red passes to the centre. Oh, that's the wrong table, is it? Oh, we're up the top. Can't tell from that angle. I don't think it passes the middle, and it's actually important. So he's playing the shot I said, just drop this over the pocket. Well, I don't think he wanted that to go in. He potentially could have put himself in a little bit of strife there. Now I think actually, just with that ball being eliminated, I know it sounds silly because it's just a ball on the cushion, but that's exactly where I'd like to leave the white. I actually think he's just gone way behind in this frame. and I do not like that shot. However, having said that, he has put it in such a way where they'll double out nicely. So not too bad. Be surprised if Robbo doesn't eliminate this red and then either try and push the yellow a little closer, the red over the pocket, and that's probably what he's going to do. So we're going to see Robbo here just try and push this yellow a little bit closer. It's actually really difficult to push this in such a way where you don't leave the kick out on still. He's actually got to get almost touching the red and not pop the yellow, pop the red, so it's tough. Tell you what though, he's played that really well, and Gavin is actually in huge trouble now. And the reason I say that is I need to have a look at them again, and ideally you probably need to be at where Gavin's standing right now to be able to have a really good assessment of it, but to me it looks like they won't kick out now. I'm not sure how much of a, like I don't see where Gavin's pointing now. I don't know if he can create a gap with the yellow, so if he pushes the yellow into the bottom jaw and it just nudges the red to the other jaw, if he can create that little gap so he can play the blast out shot later on. Now if he doesn't like that, the other option is to try and get up behind the black and play this black down. Now the problem with that is I don't think the way these two yellows are situated that he'll be able to pot the red. And you want to leave it hard up on the yellow, so there's one, no foul snooker, and number two, you can't just kick it out easily in one and go game. But he's bringing another ball down into play. I don't know if I like this. Oh, this could have turned out perfect. Well, any chance that Gav had of nudging a yellow into that pocket now is gone. But the good part about it is the black will now go onto the yellow, but to not leave a foul snooker, I don't know that you can anymore. Tell you what I do like, and that is chopping that, and he's played it exactly what I'm... If he could have got that yellow right on top of the other yellow, he then would have been able to play the black on the yellow, pop the red, and leave a foul snooker, but he wouldn't be able to pop the yellow that's closest to the pocket because the other one would be in the way that we'd need to nominate. It's a real old school trick, that one. I actually learnt that trick by having it done to me by Don Colbert of all people. I thought I was in full control of the frame, couldn't not lose the frame in a position that's very similar to this, and then suddenly the black got played on the two yellows that were together, and then I couldn't nominate the one I wanted to, and I proceeded to chop up and lose. I think I was all a young age of about 16 when that happened to me. So Robbo says, well, I'll make sure that you can't bring this black into play, young Gav. And Gav now is in a world of hurt. Going back to our UFC terms, Dan, Robbo has got the rear naked choke. He hasn't quite got it sunk in yet, but it's pretty deep, and it's just a matter until Gav taps. Good shot there from Butters. Dan's had enough of waiting for these guys to make this frame happen. And what's Gav up to here? I just want to see this shot at the bottom. He's just kicking it out. Oh, he's gone in off. I really do believe that just delayed that just sped up the inevitable. So you can actually see the importance of getting balls in the correct positions, because it actually allowed Robbo to get that red in there. Whereas if Gav had had that yellow over the pocket neat like he initially intended when he played it down the rail, that wouldn't have been a possibility. So Robbo gets on the board. Gavin just has a quick post-mortem that says, should have put the black on, but now they're actually having a quick discussion about it. A bit of a learning thing, but anyway, let them discuss that. Although I would be interested to be involved in that conversation just to see if they've come up with something that I didn't think of, because we're all learning here. It's actually one of the very good things about this game. You actually never cease to learn. Every day you can learn something if you continue to play this game, if you keep playing it every day. Especially off the more experienced players. But the funny thing about this game is you can actually learn something off someone that doesn't even play the game. Just they might say something and you might just go, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. And then you've just learned something from someone that has no idea about the game. So that's why you should always listen to everybody that speaks and then filter out the rubbish and take on board what you think is necessary for yourself to improve. So Jamo just played a very aggressive shot to open up the balls here. It's worked out pretty good. And I'm not sure if he's got the angle here to draw back and just land straight on these two reds that he's just eyeing off now. Well, he's actually playing one of them now. And he's missed it, and I think he's left a gap for the only dodgy yellow that Butters has on the table. And if it doesn't go now, Butters will almost certainly take a double, because that's just what he does.
I'm not in point.
Well, as predicted, Butters got rid of that yellow early, but he's actually made that other yellow really dodgy. I don't know if Butters actually goes and watches much of his matches back on the live stream, but if he goes back and watches that shot he just played then, he actually has a bit of a tendency to get a fair chicken wing going on, where his arm just flicks out as he plays the shot. A lot of the time it doesn't really affect the shot, but I have seen times before, mainly when he's got hit it with a lot of bottom, where he can chicken wing out and he accidentally drags the white. And it took a tough shot onto the centre there off another red. And this is the sort of stuff you're going to see Butters play. Creative styles of shots, trying to open up frames. And I think if Steve can feed off the mistakes and make the outs himself, then he'll come away the victor. But if he actually starts chopping up the outs to U-tacks himself, Butters does not mind a bit of a clean-up duty. So, well, that's worked out a treat there for Steve. Certainly not intended, but he'll take it. Was going for some kind of movement anyway. He set the white up there at a decent pace to cause some kind of movement. Oh, that's not worked out amazing. Does have the little drop into the centre, but may have to play the white through a little bit so he can get a slight angle to screw into the yellow. It's just got a little tricky this out. It's still gettable, but just a little tricky. Yeah, so I don't think that's any good. I don't think he can actually get on the other red here. Unless he can actually play the run through and come off side and bottom cushion and back out again. He might be just flicking off the right hand side and sneaking in behind the other red. Oh, that's a clever shot. Would have liked a touch more angle, I'm guessing, but As long as he can get a shot on this red, he'll be happy. Wow, that's a sensational shot from Steve, and no surprise to see that he is killing the ball. In fact, he's nearly overhit it. That's insane. And that's a credit to how well this table is running too. Good speed. And a very good positional shot on the black there from Steve as well. So, look, I'm not surprised. He flows well, Steve, and cues the ball well. He loves to run racks, loves to create. And this is exactly, if you watched the match against me with him last week, is why I just put the brakes on him and just slowed him down and brought him into my world. But Butters likes to play the same style, and that's why I suggested it'd be a very open match. So Gav's got, I'm assuming, yellows. And there's a lot of pocket coverage yet again. Another huge break on the table at the bottom of the screen. Scary's just messaged me and said that Robbo was explaining to Gav last shot that he should have popped the ball and left a Chinese snooker on the black for 2. I did think of that option, I just did not like it. Sorry, Mick. Well, that was a... I think Robbo's played to get on the red inside the yellow there, so that way he can actually clear, like go game, because he's in a bit of trouble. But as it turned out, hasn't landed well, and he's in huge trouble now. This black might be his saving grace at the moment. It's just in a tough spot for the yellows to get an easy pot on it. And it looks like Robbo's going to try and kill this other yellow in amongst it as well. Yep, that's exactly what he's done. And I'll tell you what, he might not like that shot, because 1, it may go off the red, and 2, it may open up the black. I don't think he can afford to cut it thin off the red. I think he's got to sort of play it cushion first and then flick off it thin off the red. Could be wrong. I'll tell you what though, if he can actually cut this direct up the rail and it goes off the red, he will probably cannon the black out as well and be a very big chance to finish his frame. But he's not even taking it on. I feel that this is the shot, Gav. I feel you have to take it on. Gav says, shut up, Stevens, I'm playing this double. I'll leave Robbo no shot. And you know what, that's fine. But while that yellow's like it is, don't be surprised if Robbo just bumps this red on sort of top, in the middle of the 4 that's the highest on the table, and just bumps the black to the side cushion. If you can do it in such a way where it hits the top side of the black and it smothers the yellow with the red as well. Well, he hasn't played that. He's trying to smother the yellow over the pocket. And now this is a perfect opportunity now for Gav to play this ball on the cushion. I don't like that shot Rose played at all. I felt he could have really locked that frame down. I suppose if the red covers the yellow neatly, yeah, it's not a bad shot, but that was such a hard shot to judge at that distance.
Is that colours in your face?
Well, Gav's, he's sticking to his approach of just sort of playing controlled style shots. I personally would have given that a bit and just tried to pot the yellow, tried to open things up. I don't like the idea that you're just leaving Robbo a chance to smother this yellow, which is exactly what he's going to do. But if I'm Gav here, probably going to have a dip still. Pop the ball over the bottom right corner. You've got your plant along the cushion, although it's not set, so it's a bit tricky. And of course, you don't have to commit from here either. Robbo's in survival mode at the moment. He's just trying to stay in the frame. And Gav just says, I'll just dig this yellow in a little deeper and make it on. Don't mind this shot either. Played it well. Now Robbo's got to come up with a new plan because that's no longer smothered. And this is the sort of thing you'll see Gav do. He's very, very good at picking up the percentage shots, playing those percentage shots. I just feel that sometimes his execution lets him down a little, but that's actually the case with many players. That they might see the right shots and they just can't quite execute him according to what's in their mind. So I'm not sure what Robbo's plan is here because he is in a tough spot. There's no obvious shot here in my opinion. I think he's just going to try and move something and just get a bit of luck killing the black or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe playing the double. Yeah, he's tried to play the double top corner and basically go game because he felt that there was no other option there. And to be frank, I think that was probably the right shot. There wasn't a lot on offer, and if he does get that, as you can see, he's a big chance. So Gavin just needs to hold his nerve here. He's got 5 balls over the hole. So he's eliminated 1. He's got 4 left. One of them's basically on the cushion, but goes onto a ball over the hole. And I like this ball in the middle now. I think the key here, play this, get on the ball, the top left-hand side of the table, and that is the key shot because you're getting yourself an angle on the ball in the middle to just float down the table and land on the plant. Leaving these 2 down the bottom, there's nothing wrong with that because they link automatically to the black. This yellow that he's looking at now is the tricky ball, but he's landed on it really nicely from the ball over the pocket. I don't know what he's worried about though. Unless it's a lot harder than it looks on camera, but it looks pretty straightforward. Maybe it's a lot trickier than it looks. No, it flew in. Now, this is where I think Gav can go wrong. If he looks at that ball over the pocket as his next shot, the ball to the middle as his next shot, I think he can get himself in trouble. And I don't like the angle he's left himself here. He's actually got to put a bit on this to make sure he gets an angle. So I don't reckon this is going to be any good, is it? More, he might just be okay. I think he can force the white down. So it's not a plain ball shot. He's actually got to hit the white ball just above centre with a bit of pace and just force the white ball down table. This is one of those shots where it's better to overhit it than underhit it because you can use the back cushion to come off and the white to come out. But if you underhit this, let's say you land on the black spot there, the dot, it's no good. And he's played that well. Now this can still go wrong, and that is if he just hits this yellow along the cushion a little thick and he catches the ball over the pocket. If he catches it thin, then the white ball can go to the side, the yellow can go to the side rail and not leave a shot on. So he's got to be careful here.
Take it, Jamo.
He's played at a good pace and he's played the shot to perfection as well. So Gav just getting out the rest. Not the tallest bloke in the room, Gav. Although I think a lot of players would need the rest for this shot. Just at one of those tricky angles where it's sort of like the longest area of the table you could be playing to. But barring no mistakes. And whoa, look at this. Speaking of mistakes, that's a very big mistake. And he had basically 5 foot of table to land in there, anywhere in that bottom section of the table, other than the left-hand side of that black. And this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. 3-1 to 2 all, massive difference. You've got to nail these outs. And Robbo feeds off this sort of stuff. Watching his opponents just chop up against him. And we've just missed a 3 all. I'm not sure if this cut to the right centre's on or not. Looks to me like he might be trying to play the black off the ball to the right of it, to the top left corner maybe. He needs a miracle basically. Otherwise, Robbo wins his frame and goes 2-all. And you know what? It's early days, but I'm going to say he actually goes ahead and smashes the match, because these are the sorts of things that you just can't allow Robbo to do, especially early in the match. You've got to bury him. In reality, if Gav had to execute that shot down the rail correctly and got over the pocket neatly, he probably could have been 4-0 up if he won this frame at that last visit too. And that's what I'm talking about. These little errors is all that Robbo needs to get himself back into frames, and suddenly he gets a foothold in the frame, and then he starts in the match and starts reeling off racks of his own. Before you know it, he's 5-2 up. So he's going to go up. He's going to go off the back cushion. I don't mind this shot, although I'd rather come off the side cushion and try and backdoor it direct in the middle. I think that's a better shot than this. This is much more difficult. Well, he's had a good crack at it, I've got to say, but it will cost him the frame. And after this frame is concluded and goes to 2-all, I think we might switch over and have a few frames on the bottom table that we're missing out on some really good attacking pull. We've seen a bit of tactics for the past sort of 15-20 minutes. Now we might watch some aggressive pull. In fact, if you want to watch Robbo clean these 3 or 4 balls up, which are all over the holes, watching the bottom right of your screen. Oh, miss shot there from Butters as we switch over. What's he left? Doesn't look like he's left a lot. Big shot coming up here for Steve. I'll tell you what, if he nails this, you might see him get going. He's missed it by a fair way. So Butters, pretty good opportunity here. Dan decides to flick over after the black got potted. Yep. Okay, on other tables running around the room, which is the semi-finals for the Bubbers. Steve Thomas is 4-0 down to Kevin Malik. Terry Shields is 3-1 up on Dale Watson. And these are raced to 11s as well, so that's got hours to go as well still. So Butters, one good position shot here. He just wants to land just off straight behind this red and not going off the middle. Well, that's probably a little short. So we're probably going to see him play this with a decent amount of pace. Not smash it, but enough to come off side cushion, and back out centre table. Does play these shots well, Butters, actually. Like so. And he's actually one of the best. He's actually one of the best in the state at playing that sort of shot. And Gav is having a crack, but he's actually undercut that into the pocket where he's hit it thick. We're going to go back to the other frame. Now these guys have had enough coverage for a bit, and I want to see these guys go at each other's throats again. There's no rear nakeds in this match. It's just all KOs. Well, Steve's probably just said thanks for that, Butters. I'll now have a crack at yellows. Was open table, but I'm pretty sure he's just going to say I don't care about your reds. Actually, having a look at reds though, they're not that bad. And Steve, not even sure if he even looked at reds, to be honest. I don't know whether he's sort of tunnel visioning himself into playing yellows because there's just a ball over the hole. But yeah, he sort of got this as a bit of a shot to nothing. You can play it sort of just with the smallest trace of side and cannon this yellow just dead weight. But that's really putting yourself in a position where you're saying, well, you know, I could miss this yellow down the rail. I think you've just got to say, I'm going to pop this ball down the rail and I'm going to go game because this is the key shot. Well, he's denied it. Thanks. So I'm not sure whether Jamo's decided he's going to leave this ball over the cushion till last now. But the trickiest ball now on the table is actually the one on its lonesome in the middle of the table. Yes, it's very available into pockets, but it's just because there's a bit of... the natural pathways are sort of blocked by reds to get on it, so I'll be interested to see how he deals with it. This is not as straightforward as it looks this out. When I first looked at these yellows, I just thought they were really easy, and that's why I sort of changed my mind to reds, sort of, as I noticed it wasn't as straightforward at first, but let's see what he does here. I don't know if he's got an angle to screw to the left-hand side cushion. So you can't play for the ball over the right middle now and then play down the ball down the cushion. You'd have to screw off it or run right through for a cut into the centre. It's just got dodgy written all over it. So this is a very big key shot in this out, in my opinion. Well, if this goes to the top left, then he's okay. It's just basically one clean pot. But if it doesn't go there and he's got to play it in the left centre, you've got a bit of white ball travel and just a bit of... You've got pocket to negotiate, you've got a red to negotiate. Got confirmation it does go up the top, but he's playing in the centre. So JoJo's eyes are terrible. And I tell you what, he's happy with that. So he's faced now with this run down the rail shot. And I'll tell you what, folks, we've got a treat coming up. Wow, he's missed that by 3 foot. That was actually, you know what, Steve, I know you're going to go back and watch this. Have a look at your body language before you go down and play that shot. You kind of look at it like, oh, no, I don't know if I'll pot this. And then you go down and you just rush it. That is not the way you play most of your shots. So something going through your head on that particular shot that you didn't like, and you just need to fix up in future if it happens again. He'll probably come back to me and tell me I've got no idea what I'm talking about, and he felt that he was 100% guaranteed in his mind to pot that ball, and for me to be very quiet and not talk about it again. But to me, his body language just looked different on the shot. Now, what is Butters doing here? Wow, I just don't get that shot. Okay, well, he's tried to get a snooker, obviously. He's just played it not well, to be fair. And Steve will get a second bite. And this, there, you can see he's just checking the angle now, and he's just making 100% sure he knows what's going on. And he might be a little straight, is he? Now, folks, I've got a very, very special treat as Steve just gets on this black. We're about to be joined in commentary by a player in this tournament, or in this comp, that has previously made a Victorian state team. He is the wealthiest player in Victorian 8-ball. I think he's a multi-trillionaire. Welcome aboard, Marty Andrews.
Hello, Jamie. How are you this evening?
Good, mate. And I do believe you are a virgin to the commentary.
It's my first time here, yes.
So we'll...
learning from the master.
Well, it's no mistake that you are a trillionaire, and you aren't the most unintelligent person in Australia, so I'm sure that your insight will be that of knowledge. Jamo won that frame to go 4-all.
4-all, excellent.
And I must say, Marty, I have crapped on a fair bit since you've got here, so you will give my vocal cords a break.
And how's the other match too going?
It's been a little tactical, as one would expect with Robbo's broken shoulder and
going easy
Gavin's
on the brakes.
Very high percentage of play. And there has been, I think, to be fair, I think Gavin actually could have been 4-0 up. And he's chopped up a couple of frames pretty badly. And this one looks like another one that he's chopped up where he's got 2 yellows left and Robbo's got all his balls on the table.
Just going to tie him up there.
So we've decided to focus on the blow-for-blow match where they're just going at each other's throats full on.
Yeah, I can't imagine either of these players will hold back. Jamo and Butters, probably the 2 most aggressive players in the league.
I think that's fair to say. Chuka might disagree. Chuka might think that he's the most aggressive.
Yes. And Jamo is showing that straight away by playing a double, and not sure what he's going to do with that red in the middle of the pack.
Steve Thomas did give me an eye there, wanting to put his hand up for most aggressive player in the league as well, but sorry, Steve, no. So one good shot, as Marty said, wants to just get this can on this ball that's in the pack. Well, made an idiot of both of us because I agreed with your shot there. You were talking about canning the yellow that was where
the red right on the black spot there is the one that's the trouble ball. And Jamo needs to find fairly quickly a way to get that out of there.
Just wonder if it goes to the left centre. Clean.
Yeah, good positional pot play maybe.
Well, he might be on it now. He might have found a way.
Oh, that's very close.
If it goes...
If it goes...
Then he's on it. If it goes, he's on it.
And the red closest to the black to the opposite centre then? His positional play is difficult off this ball if he's on it.
Yeah, you can't just roll it in and can into the yellow. You're not going to be on the ball, so you've got to do something with the white.
He must look at the double, Jamie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't like the double myself. If you're going to play this as a double and you miss this, you just basically leave an out on your opponent. Wow, that's a great shot.
That is a very good shot. Still a little bit tricky positionally to finish the frame from here, but far less trouble than he was in just moments ago.
Yeah, I feel he needs to take the tough ball on the top one of the 3, unless he's on this. If he's on this, wow.
If he's on this, then it's actually quite straightforward to finish the out from here.
I think he's okay. Most important thing about this shot, don't leave yourself dodgy queuing on the yellows.
Just roll through, get past that yellow.
And for guys that still learning to play the game, I'll almost guarantee you that 9 out of 10 of you just drop this in and don't think about where your hand is going to be on the table.
He was even much straighter than that than it appeared on the camera. So yeah, actually quite straightforward here. Good pot required, but quite straightforward for Jamo, you'd think.
Yeah, it's nicely cued.
And as expected on the other table, looks like Marc's mopping up.
Good out there from Jamo.
Very good out.
Robbo with the broken shoulder / heart muscle seems to be having no problems at all.
Gavin Roberts, the giant killer of this tournament, still going toe-to-toe on the scores so far, though.
Yeah, he was actually 2-0 up. That's what I'm saying. He should have should have been further ahead. I think he's made a couple of errors that have really hurt him. And I even made the call when he went to 2-all. That just cost him the match this early in. I know it's a really horrible thing to say and a bad call to make. There's so much distance to play, but you can't allow Robbo easy frames.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the reasons he just hardly loses in this tournament is because so many people give them to him.
And such a percentage player will make very few mistakes. So you need to take your opportunities when they come.
So Butters now, it's his turn to have a dip. I've got no doubts there will be no snookers here.
Now, he does have a path to every ball on the table. Nothing's blocked. He will need some good positional play.
And as you can see from the side view Dan's give us, he's got a little bit of angle on this and can pinch pocket to develop even more if he wants it. We'll want to screw back between the two reds, just like that.
And if he's playing the ones to the centre, he may need to play a plant here. It's hard to tell if he's on the one closest to the pocket.
I think
he's straight on it, so he must be on that.
Might stun into the red on the rail here. Oh, wow, that one went past.
Oh, went past. Even better.
I think this is where it can potentially get tricky. It's just how he deals with these 3 balls here. Yep, they're all on. They all look easy.
He needs the white very much on a string, doesn't he?
Well, he's managed to do that nicely.
I think he'll make sure he stays on the one in the centre if he can. Oh, he's going to play the one this way first. He wants that one in centre last, if at all possible, right?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Before Dan switched to side view, I thought he was perfectly straight on this yellow, but as you can see now, he's got a little bit of angle, so it's not as straightforward as I first thought. Don't know if he's going to try and play a delicate little cannon or just play the run through. Plays a delicate little cannon.
Well played. So good reply from this from Butters.
There's only really 2 ways this match can go from both players. They're either making outs or they're chopping up outs. There's really not going to be a lot of ball over pocket play. They really have been attacking. I expected this. I've enjoyed it. And overall the standard's been pretty good.
I did have a question I wanted to ask you from a couple of weeks ago in the Facebook group. Marc Robertson commented to the players who'd been watching in finals that they were being too aggressive. And I thought this is a classic case of a match where that comment can either hold very true or come completely undone. These guys are being ultra aggressive. I think Marc's comment can be quite true in general, but for these 2 players.
I think his comment was more aimed at people that weren't as at higher level.
Yeah, and the ability to make an out.
Yep, I think
not as strong.
I think what was happening is they were attacking the balls, but there either wasn't a good plan in place to make the out, or they just kept falling out of position, or there were just simply really tough outs that just weren't there. And so he's just saying, you know what, pull up a bit, and you'll get your chances.
Yep.
He was right in what he said. I didn't actually see all of the matches played, but. And Gavin does exactly that. He plays within himself. He plays percentage. That's probably why he won the group.
To his own game. Yep.
We're going to flick back over. Sorry, Robbo fans and Gavin fans. Like I said, you can see bottom of your screen. But this is just a
fascinating match.
It's been 2 outs in a row, I believe. This break looks really clustery, but it's actually not that bad. They're all on.
Reds look quite good. Yellows have that difficult ball on the left-hand side near the centre there.
Yeah, and on the one on the right as well.
And the one on the right, except it's hard to tell if it would go down the rail inside that bottom right corner.
If it was off the rail more, I'd say yes. But because it's on the rail or close to the rails, I think it would actually double kiss the red and either squeeze the red in or just draw them out.
Yeah.
These pockets are actually really tricky for playing balls inside other balls as well. when you look at him and think, oh yeah, this is really easy, but then you just pop the opponent's ball and you think, what just happened?
Ooh.
He will not be upset if that goes in.
Yep, and that was the one yellow that he needed to clear. I think everything else is actually reasonably straightforward. Probably the red closest to the pocket on the bottom of the screen is the trickiest now.
Yep, absolutely. I'll actually be interested to see how he deals with that, because my natural thought was just get an angle off the red to the right of the one he's about to play now and just can into the yellow. But you want to not kill the black either. Like,
that's right, yeah.
And that's no good.
He may leave it to last and cannon into the yellow to take the black to the opposite centre.
The only thing I don't like about this is the angle he's left himself here. He's going away from play on both balls. He wanted to be really straight on the ball on the left-hand side so we could just stun this one in. And
come
then
back
he's
to
got
the angle he's on.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we might see him try and pick the gap in between yellow and black.
He may play for the gap, yes. He could play it a little bit each way to leave the red up to the top corner if he misses it.
Played it well. Yeah, you're right, Marty. He's done exactly that too. Give himself options, and he's got the.
And he's got options. He may be able to just roll this in and leave himself a red for the corner now.
Yeah, and you know what? It doesn't really matter what angle he leaves himself here, as long as he knows exactly what angle that is, and that he's comfortable with that angle and how he wants to land on the black. Like dead straight's fine. You can screw back the side rail, play the black bottom left. Angle either way, either playing it from the right hand side of the table or left hand side of the table.
That is not what I expected.
I can't believe he's run through that. Like, if you're going to play that, why not stun it in and land in like this giant area of table past the red?
He may just screw back to the rail and leave himself a long black now. He's got a big pocket down the bottom left of the screen there with the yellow. Yeah. As long as he's on the black. Doesn't need to do anything particularly fancy.
Yeah, a little soft screw here and just hold the white. What's
he's not doing that, and he's loading up. Oh my goodness.
Tell you what.
That is a terrible shot.
Yeah, he deserved everything he got there. That was loose and not required. And Butters is like your beauties. And Robbo, as I said, 4-2 up now. He's shifted gears.
Now, Jamie thought he was Butters then for a moment.
And Butters says, oh my God, it's Christmas.
He's got all the options in the world now, doesn't he?
I guarantee he still tries to pot out.
Well, he does have quite an element of safety with the black
already,
so he can afford to. He can afford to continue playing a little bit each way if he wants to.
I think the only way he can lose this frame is if you try and pot out of this visit.
The smart play is to get this off the rail though, and also to try and cover the white if possible.
Jeez, he's not played that awesome.
Could have been a heck of a lot better. It'll be close. He may be able to see this black, or have a baby swerve to get to it. Doesn't want to give Butters 2 shots.
Wow, we could hit it full.
And
actually, is that any good? It's actually not as bad as it could have been.
A hit and hope in that situation was not the worst shot in the world.
No. Butters is just like,
if this bottom right pocket, if the ball does not go in clean and he has to play a plant, he's got a tricky opening shot.
It looks dodgy, doesn't it? And I think Butters is like, wow, that's a result.
It's also going to be difficult to leave Jamo completely off the black. So safety of the white ball is difficult in this situation. He's certainly taking his time having a think about it.
Looking like coming side cushion for a snooker.
He's trying to get a snooker, yeah.
So what's happened there? I've been speaking a little bit in UFC terms tonight. What's happened there is Jamo's just got him on the chin and just wobbled him a bit, and so Butters has just gone in for a quick takedown for double leg.
That's not bad. Same situation here. Jamo does not want to give Butters 2 shots.
I actually reckon this is on.
He has to hit the black at all costs here.
I reckon it's on.
He's playing it straight. He is not swerving this ball.
It's a tough shot.
In which case the pot is probably on. Oh,
He's overcut, and now Butters will have a dip. I'm actually very sure this yellow goes clean. It's just the angle he had on the first shot was tough.
Yeah, he's probably only got a three-quarter pocket.
He's got the bottom one as well, even if he doesn't want it.
Or the top right yellow as well. Yeah.
I am going to be very interested to see how he plays this because I don't like to leave myself on the plant on those top two balls. I'd like to get on the right-hand side one now and then come back centre table for the other two.
Yeah, I'd come back centre table for the yellow on the far left.
Yes.
Play that one in or over. It's a little bit of a tougher pot, and there's an element of safety in playing that because if it doesn't go in, it'll cover the black.
Yeah, you leave yourself an angle where you can just drop it in, come off the side rail a touch, and then you've got the yellow to the top right-hand corner. But this is Butters, so he may try and triple 3 balls to make this out. Not afraid of the rest either, although I must say that's been grossly underhit.
He should play the far left yellow now.
This will be played with a lot of drag. He actually likes these sort of shots.
Yeah, he does play these quite often, doesn't he? And he has left Jamo a chance. He can see that he can have a full-blooded crack at this black in whatever way he sees fit. There's the crazy thin cut inside the yellow, and then there's the double up and down.
I think he's got to play the cut, and this is one of those shots where you just have to just not care where the white goes. If it goes in off, tough. You've had a dip at the frame. You've been given an opportunity. Just have a dip.
Wow, there it is. Yep.
There's this white. Good.
Well
and that
done.
was actually not as thin as I thought.
You missed your opportunity to say, "Where's the white ball going?
Where's the cue ball going?"
And Gavin Roberts is mopping up this frame against Marc Robertson.
I'll tell you what, he has been in situations like this, just as simple as this, actually even simpler, and chopped up. So for Gavin's sake, I hope he gets this.
This ball is not difficult. He just wants to be positioned correctly for the white ball for his next shot. That's the key element of this shot.
And he's just looking in an angle where he can screw back right-hand side of the table.
Right. He wants to be a little short of straight.
Why is he into a top?
Why is he playing top?
Maybe it's actually the angle is to come for side cushion and back out again.
No, he's playing stun now.
But he needs to screw off this a
He
bit.
needs a little bit of screw.
Yeah, so you had to screw off that a bit.
Now, it's now a deep screw shot.
I don't even think you can deep screw this because what happens is when you play this shot with bottom, the white ball will actually, before it grips and gets bottom, will actually shift to the right first, then grip.
That's right. That's right.
And the angle is such that I think he's going to go into the reds. He might just be able to screw past them.
He needs to be over the right-hand side of the table, though. If he can just be in front of those reds, even if he can end into one, that's a reasonable outcome. But he can't play top through this yellow. He could stun out off the side rail, but I think that's a bit crazy. I think he has to deep screw it.
I honestly think I would play this shot. I would actually play this shot with stun and right-hand side and try and come off the side rail and cannon the red. It's in the centre of the 3. Sorry, the one to the left of the 3.
Stun and right-hand side, I think you're crazy.
Look at this, he's played the shot I've said, he's just hit the wrong ball.
and that's why it was crazy.
But there was nothing else. Sometimes you've got to play crazy.
But going through traffic. I mean, maybe that's all he had. It's hard to tell from the angle whether deep screw was even possible to get in front of those reds.
Look, the other thing you could have maybe done was try to get, roll it in a touch or just a little stun and get straight on the black and punch it in off the ball on the bottom, really punch it hard and try and square the black up along the cushion. It's doable, very tough shot. You've got to hit it that well.
I'm not sure that's doable.
It's doable. It might actually be too far across.
Marc Robertson is now a red-hot favourite in this frame. What's he looking at here? I'm not even sure what he's lining up.
He might be lining up a...
Does he think he can pinch the pocket? Or is he just trying to cover it neat, maybe? Cover it neat. If he could cover it neat, that would be not bad. I don't know
what he's looking at.
I think his only other option is to come off the rail at the bottom of the screen and kick the black from behind and try and play it to the centre right.
What about the double off the back cushion to the middle pocket? Just try and put it in front of the red. Yeah,
that's what I was trying to describe, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about coming off the back cushion. I'm talking about doubling
cushion.
it.
Oh, yeah, I see. This is a situation where I ask myself, what would Butters do?
He's actually tried to full ball hit that black into the red, put the red on the side rail.
Put the red on the side
and leave no
rail.
shot.
Yeah.
Not bad thinking.
Not bad thinking. And that's almost as good as a result as he could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Like the black is still probably on. It's hard to tell. But he's given Marc as difficult as a shot as he can. He's in a lot of trouble though right now.
That's actually the sort of shot where you can get 10 really great players of different mindsets and discuss options on that for 25 minutes on what you could do.
Yeah.
Me personally, I probably would have belt the crap out of it and tried to come off as many cushions and go into as many balls I could have to try and create as much distraction as possible.
Yeah, I think against Marc Robertson, you probably had to give that black a chance to make a pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you've just got to try and fluke it, like
because he's now. If this black is on to that centre, it must. I can't imagine Marc would have played that shot if this black is on to the centre.
I think it's a good chance. I think Gav's got to play it.
If there's a chance, then this is as good as a chance as he's going to get.
I think you've got to hit it direct though. I don't think you can afford to play it off the red. So he's looking at it now. Meanwhile, Butters has said, I've had enough of playing, I'm going to come over and commentate.
Commentate your own frame.
Butters has said, give me that shot. He's been dying for these shots all frame on his match.
That's why what would Butters do? He knows what he would do here. Took about 3 seconds to analyse it.
So here we go.
No.
In fact, missed badly.
Yeah. Even hitting that black was probably going to push the red to the side rail.
Butters just puts his hand up. What a terrible shot, he said. I would have popped that. So, hands up if you're sick of watching Marc Robbo pot out all the time and over the years of all the frames that we've watched him playing in CueballTV.
And in a mop-up
let's
situation.
switch over the other match. Sorry, Robbo, you suck. Like I said, if you're Susie Yeomans, just Susie Robertson now, sorry, my bad. Then yeah, watch the bottom right of your screen. The only reason I say it is two shots, I just don't doubt him missing it.
Now, Jamo's on yellows here, and there are two. Oh, that's it. It's actually a surprising miss from Jamo. Now, and he has got two dirty yellows on the left-hand side there.
Yeah, I think he was forced into yellows.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It may have been the only opener he had.
I think personally I would have...
Dan's let Marc have his moment of fame by putting the black.
I think I would have... that ball that's on the left-hand side of the table there, at the top left, the red, I think I would have jumped in behind that and just said, you have open table.
You figure it out, Butters, yeah.
Because these balls are all just Christmas.
Very open now, and having said that...
Chop-ups.
Has he got an option? The red on the far right-hand side of the table, closest to the white, maybe onto the top left?
Maybe. But as I saying, I'm going to play this off the other red.
Off the other red.
Because this is the sort of thing he does.
This is what he does, yes.
This is like an easy shot. If he was on this direct, it'd be a harder shot.
Now, he's got to give this enough power for that red that he's playing off to go onto the cushion and back out again.
He can't. It'll square the red up too much. So he needs to hit it thin. But what would I know?
He did give it enough. And
I thought he had hit it thinner. You know what? Where it's landed,
he's covered it quite neat.
I copped that because he didn't have another easy shot afterwards. Well, they had the plan, so he was probably dying to play. He's probably filthy because he's like, I want to play a plant and then screw back to the bottom rail so I can play a triple and then...
And Jamo's in a lot of bother here, but he may play the cutback double and screw up the rail to get the other yellow off. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, but if it goes, and it has...
I'll tell you what, this right here, Marty,
actually a reasonable chance.
This is where you need to find the exact angle you need to land on to play plain ball off the bottom cushion and into the yellow on the side cushion. You must find just the plain ball angle.
I think he'll take the ball to the right centre and come back a little bit later to leave himself a double. He's actually on a reasonable double angle now, but the ball on the right-hand side is blocking it, so he needs to clear that out of the way.
I think if you play the natural angle and if you miss the cannon, you've then got the other ball as backup, and then you can play for the double afterwards. So this is a good shot. That to me is a no-brainer on just landing on an angle where you can have a free shot at getting this kick out. Do not even play this double now.
He's looking at the double now.
I think if he plays this double now, he's off his head.
If he's going to play the double, he should get on a reasonably straight double, not this cutback that he's lining up now.
If Jamo plays this double, the LSD that he took before this match is not working.
He must be playing. He must be playing heavy right-hand side here as well to hold the white to straighten up off the second cushion. And oh my
he's
goodness,
actually been a little bit unlucky, but I'm telling you, it wasn't the right shot. It was crazy. He's actually got to play this at pace now to punch the yellow off the left side cushion.
If you look back at this frame later, Jamo, you are getting sucked into Butter's game. Play your own game, not his game. That was insane.
He might not have. I mean, to be fair, the angles that the cameras represent can sometimes be very wrong as to what's really out there. So, but like I said, he had an option to move the white ball, but he had an option to move it wherever he wanted to get the right angle for the cannon.
That white ball was always going to travel a reasonable distance, and he had very good control if he played the other two.
So now he's looking at this plan. You've got to play this at pace, punch the yellow off the left side cushion and back across again.
He has to punch it hard.
Oh, he'll cop that all day long.
Yes, absolutely. Double or cut, Jamie?
If your Butter's a double because you don't do anything with the white. Actually, looking at this is pretty tough cut.
Yeah.
I know me. I play the cut. If it's cuttable,
Jamo's just like a. I think he's hard to tell.
He's doubling it.
He's yeah.
This will miss.
You're right.
You
I'm a little surprised, like Jamo being an ex-snooker pro. You would think a snooker player would always play a cut over a double.
Yeah, good call.
And he should be. He's such an accurate potter. He should be very confident playing that. And Butters has got a quite straightforward mop-up.
Yeah, I feel Jamo could have had a bigger foothold on this match if he actually played some slightly more percentage shots.
Well, like you called earlier, Jamie, it's either going to be about them making the outs or chopping up the outs.
And it really was a strange decision to play that back double. I mean, yes, you know what? You could argue he was a little unfortunate to get that little cannon and leave it awkward, but I just don't even think it was the right option to begin with. But like I said, Steve will probably go back and look at it, and the camera will go, "Oh, that looks perfect for the extraction." But Steve will go, "Well, no, it's no good." So
but even if he didn't play the extraction, he could have played a simpler double
exactly.
Later on in the frame.
And like I said, my response to that anyway is you could have stunned the white ball, run through the white ball. You got the white ball wherever you wanted it, so it was a good shot to play for the shot to nothing cannon. Butters has just made this out look quite simple.
Cleaned this up in no time at all, as he should.
And no surprises to see a clustered frame on the other table. Robbo has gone 5-2 up, and since I made that call, 2-all, Gavin was losing this match. He has not looked like winning another frame since. I shouldn't say he hasn't looked like one, he's made mistakes.
He's made mistakes, yes.
And another bad shot.
That will be all she wrote for this frame. Probably true. There's a little bit of work to do, but with 2 shots, you'd expect.
Now, I'll tell you
Robbo
something
will probably clear these up.
That really experienced players do against less experienced players, especially high-level play, is when the wheels fall off a little bit, it's hard for them to bolt them back on it and then just recoup. It gets worse and worse and worse, and then their opposition smashes them. That's really key, Like Robbo's won 5 in a row now. It's up to Gavin to just slow things.
He was 2-0 up, wasn't he?
It's up to him to just slow his thought patterns down a little bit, get his composure back on track, start seeing the outs, with a little bit of logicness to it, and get himself back on the board again. Well, Kevin Malik has gone to 6-0 up on Steve Thomas. And Dale Watson's pegged back a little bit on Terry Shields, is now trailing 5-4. So Robbo, one would expect, I don't think you should hit this. I think you should play this with a bit of pace. Not smash the hell out of it, but just give it a fair bit, because the black's going to go towards the red. You don't want it to stick, so you want it to come out a bit.
Yeah, you either want to just dislodge it by about a ball, or you want to push it quite a bit.
Well, he's tried to do the little delicateness, and I don't like that shot.
Yeah,
unless it's on.
He needs to be high of the yellow then.
No, it's on.
If it's
Never
on,
mind.
If it's on, he's fine.
He did that little stupid get down, have a look sort of thing, and then get up again.
Do it again.
No, he likes it. Well, there you go. It was on easy. And that black, I think, goes.
It's fine. I think it's fine. And it looks like on the other table there's a little bit of a tactical battle that's about to ensue.
No. If it's butter shot, he'll just develop.
Jamo has played a safety. And Butters, I think Butters tried to cover a pocket.
He did try and cover that pocket. I think he tried to pot it, but... What's actually really funny is if Jamo gets this plan, he can actually go game. But he's missed it. Yeah, it's actually becoming a bit of a who can play the most ridiculous shot over there type affair now, isn't it?
Now let's see where Robert lands this white.
Wow.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, if he's on that, he has been very lucky.
He's been very lucky.
He could have cannoned that like a little bit more half-ballish and then snookered himself on that black. I don't think it goes.
If it doesn't go, he's going to put Gavin Robertson in a heap of trouble.
Do you think it just not goes and you play this with a touch, like with a ton of side, just to try and...
I think he plays it with side, pocket weight, and it might drop in.
I don't reckon he's even near it. I don't... Whoa, what's going on with this chair? I'm giving a dodgy chair. I don't even think this, like, even near goes.
He's jacking up. He's trying to swerve this a little bit. This is very delicate.
Yeah, that's probably as good as he could have played it, really.
Now, Gavin is in a bit of trouble, but he can, if he can get reasonably long and snookered.
Yeah, this top ball on the right.
And give Robert Marc some traffic that he needs to go through to get to the black.
I feel just play the plain ball shot on this ball that's closest to the nameplate up the top of the table and take the white ball to the side rail.
To the side rail, yeah. And perhaps double that red to near the centre pocket on the left-hand side, because that's about where Marc will need to play a double to.
What is Gav looking at here? Is he actually just going to flick off this red and just leave the cross table? I do not like this shot at all.
Yeah, that's...
You've got to give him distance.
He's got to back himself to get the snooker on the long ball. Must get distance.
You know what I think he's worried about? I think he's worried about leaving him across table where he can widen up the amount of black he can hit.
Oh, he's taking a pot on. Well, fair enough. If he's not confident getting the snooker, then he can get a little bit closer to his work.
Well, he's going to be confident getting the snooker now.
Well, he's not on the one on the rail, but he's got a second ball to snooker behind.
But he's cleared all the traffic.
He's cleared the traffic, that's right. He's trying to find a spot where the natural angle is right where the centre pocket is. I think that's what he's looking for. To force Marc to either...
Yeah, generally that spot is about a fist distance from the corner.
Yeah.
Or a couple of fist distance, actually.
Yeah, he wants to be halfway between the balk line and the corner pocket, basically. I think he's going to take another pot on Jamie. I think he's...
Well, you can probably take the middle of these three into the centre, and the white ball might travel to that sort of area, but maybe it's closer in off than it looks from this angle.
I think he's considering the out. I think he just looked at an angle to play this ball down the bottom left and take that ball out of the rail, which is,
this
I
shot
think
now?
is crazy. No, in the next shot, I think he was looking at, if I roll this ball in, will I be on a good angle to...
Look, it's funny you say that, because I saw that shot like at the very start of this out, of looking at a way to land on that for the extraction.
It's not the right shot.
Well, I like playing those shots if I can get the natural angle.
Yeah. Well, Well, he is. And now he's looking at the snooker.
Yeah, I don't play it because this ball's gone on the side rail. If it was in the open, I'd think about it.
Yeah.
And I think he's played it really
covered,
well.
He's played that very well, yes. He's covered, I think he's covered the double with the red he's nearest. Now, there is a 2-cushion escape off the up near where the nameplate is, and then off the side roll down to the black.
I'll tell you what, if he judges that off these cushions, there's a good shot.
I'm not sure he's got a choice but to have a go at it. Is there a better option for him? I think he has to have a go at that shot.
You might be right. Well,
and these are the situations where a player can get these when you're backed into a corner and you've got no other option.
You could push the red
and it
might on the balk line to the side cushion and take the white ball to the bottom cushion. You could play that shot.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, and Marc's the sort of player that might do that too. You'll think about those things, but he is lining up that shot. I think.
I like this shot because if you get it, even if you don't pot it, your opponent's in a world of hurt.
That's true. If you leave your white down the bottom there, with your only opportunity for a pot is one of those long balls near the nameplate end of the table, he's still in a bit of trouble. He's basically going to force him to take the ball away from the black immediately, and then back himself to pot the.
That's pretty
next
close.
Ball. He's going to hit it.
No, it's a good shot.
It's a good
but
shot.
Gav can play the double now on the red and take the white ball down to the right hand side of the table and land in that sort of spot we were talking about earlier to cut the natural angle across with the centre pocket.
Yep.
See his bottom right of the screen. Didn't take long for those guys to sort that mess out, did it?
I think they've had a couple of shots each, though.
The balls are all out in the open in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. What are you doing here, Gav? You haven't got two, mate.
And Butters has played a super thin cut and come off
lit that
1,
up.
2, 3, 4, 5 cushions and he would have been in position for his
He's
next
lit it
shot.
up. Now he's playing the shot.
It's actually... No, I think he's in trouble. Now, Gavin, what are you going to do? I think he needs to play the ball near the top of the table on the far right. He wants to double that back down and leave the white near the jaws of the top right-hand pocket.
Good shot on the other table there from Steve as well. Should win him the frame. Now he has underhit what he desired.
That's the correct shot, but he's left Marc the opportunity for a double.
Tell you what though, because this is not set right over the pocket, I think just past centre pocket might take the in off. So this is pretty close. Look at Steve there playing his little stun run throughs. He loves them. He's going to reassert his lead 7-6.
I think Marc's just going to hit this and not give him two. He's going to play it off the jaw.
He's got to use a bit of side here though. I don't think
he's going to get a little bit of jaw.
There you go. See, that was the danger of playing
soft.
soft.
Took that, I think.
But if you're playing that soft with side, you are every danger of doing that, and also the side not taking off the rail when it hits the bottom cushion. You've either got to give that a bit and just try and hit the black full ball, leave the white there and bring the black out centre table-ish. Wow, Steve Jamison's just come over and give me a hard time.
Both Jamieon and Butters keen to commentate their own match tonight.
Looks like Butters is just going for a toilet break, and he comes over to me and says, "Is this about when you went for your toilet break last week?" Well, actually, Steve, I went for my toilet break at 6-all after I was 6-3 up, so I lost 3 in a row to you, and I thought it was a good call because I went on to win.
And meanwhile, Gavin's doubled that red out, but hasn't played it amazing. He's left it a little bit dodgy.
This looks good to me. This is how I look at this. If he's got an angle going down the table, he stuns for the centre. If it's going through, if it's going the other way, then you run through this and play for the other centre.
He just needs angle on his last ball, which is the one out in the open near the bottom left pocket, and he needs just a nice angle to land on the one on the rail.
I think
that's the key.
I actually think Gav is making things a little complicated for himself at the moment.
I think there's doubt in his mind that's setting. I think that's the problem. Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, I think he's lost his
self-belief.
I think he's having to double and triple check everything he does, even when it's straightforward. Whereas earlier on in the match, he was open-minded, clear-minded, and just getting stuff done.
Now,
This looks perfect to stun down.
It does. Yeah, he very nearly came straight on that, which would have been awful.
This is a above centre stun shot, so it's a stun run through, not a below centre shot, unless I've misread the angle.
He may be dragging it. He may drag it.
No, he's okay.
Yes, he's okay.
Now have a look at this. This is actually still a little dodgy because
There's a little
you've
bit
got
of
to give
doubt.
it a bit. Just a little. You just got to give it a little bit, and they're missable on these tables if you punch him a little bit. Wow, he's playing this with the side.
He's got a cue. He's got a little skew through it.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I actually thought that was crazy to play it like that, but never mind. I would have stunned off that myself, but no danger there. And this is what Gav needed. He needed, after losing 5 in a row, chopping up opportunities that he had to keep big
Yeah,
leads.
3-5. He's right in that match.
Yep, he's alive.
Jamo is looking to punch open to a 2-frame lead here on Reds.
He's trying to say to Butters, take as many toilet breaks as you like. You will not disrupt my rhythm.
Just needs to get on the red on the right-hand side nearest the centre pocket to one of the top corner pockets or the bottom right corner pocket.
It's actually funny.
If you can achieve that feat fairly soon, he'll be in good position.
Steve actually annihilated everyone in the round robins, I think. Maybe he only lost one match.
Yeah, I think he and Marc Robertson both had a very low score of frames against.
Yeah, and I think maybe Jamo even beat Robbo.
It would have been within a couple of frames over the whole season.
And I would love to watch every one of his matches and just seen if anybody slowed him down the way I chose to do last week against him, because I am not even going to pretend that I can day in, day out play as fluently and as open as what he can with consistency.
Well, I tried,
yes.
Jamie, but I can tell you it was completely unsuccessful.
And so have many others.
I think he beat me 11-3.
And look, there are players out there that do it to me. Rusty Wheeler is one of them. I'm yet to solve the riddle of Rusty Wheeler, and it's just because of his style.
You're not
of
the
play.
only person who's had trouble solving that problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst person to have problems against, but it's annoying for me because I'm up and about before, like the matches I've played before I've had to draw him, I'm up and about, I'm feeling good, and then I draw him and I just play terrible, and it really frustrates me, and it's just his style of play that rattles me a little. It's something I need to fix. And,
Good shot was cried there, and Jamo's delivered.
Very good shot.
Now, where's he playing the black?
I think he can stun out a touch.
Stun past that yellow?
Yeah. Yeah, good
yeah,
shot.
well done.
Tell you what, if he makes this out, is it his break next?
He's just decided to put the foot down against Butters a little bit here.
Yeah, and this is queuing very nice now, Jamo, and I've seen Jamo come back from massive deficits as well. Like when he might be, like, for example, 8-1 down. I've seen him come back. So he's not afraid of the getting his queuing action going later on, later stages of matches, and running racks. So it's actually Butters' break, and he'll want a fast reply.
Yeah, he'll be looking to return the favour.
And that little
very
cannon there
just those two balls on the left hand side there, that yellow and red.
I reckon he'll take reds and
Either
screw
colour
into
is
straight
good.
away. Ball in the left centre, screw into that 2 straight away.
I don't think he's got the angle.
You reckon?
No, I think he's going the other way.
Is this the side table view table, Dan? Look at that. I reckon he's got the angle.
Oh, that Jesus. Does
doesn't
tell a
want
different story, doesn't it? He will probably get a better angle later.
He wanted to come another foot there.
Oh, is he going to leave that late in the frame?
Well, he wanted to land on it then. He wanted to come another foot, and then he would have been perfect. So Now we might see him play with his ball in the centre and stun across onto the yellow.
I think he's putting all his eggs in one basket here.
No, he's playing for it again, and he's come up
And
short
still
again.
short again.
I actually hate when this happens to me. I play so many of these outs where I just want to headbutt the table. So, and
He has to commit now. He's got no choice. There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, and for new players like learning the game still, don't think, oh, this is great, he's potting balls. He's tried to land on his on a way to develop his problem ball straight away, and he's failed to do it twice. But recognising the problem ball is the important part, and then obviously executing a way to develop it is the second part.
Now, I think he needs to slow up now, Jamie.
How can you possibly slow up from
I think the ball that he's closest to, he can double to the bottom left pocket, or he can run the one.
This
that's
has got to go
down.
over the hole,
He's got to run it down to the bottom left pocket. Yeah, he needs some sort of coverage.
No, that's not bad.
It's actually not bad. And he's just going to walk to the side and say, Steve Jamieson, you figure it out.
So if Butters goes back and watches his frame, he'll actually be so filthy, because that was a real easy out if he just get one good position shot.
I don't think he needs to rewatch it to be filthy. I'm sure he's filthy right now.
It's hard to tell with Butters. He doesn't really show much emotion.
He had 2 goes at it, right? Like you believe he was on it straight away, and then he had 2 more goes at getting on it and failed both times. So potentially 3. Hello, Jamo's played a tactical shot.
He actually thought that was the right shot, but he's played it badly.
Now that ball up the top is going to get doubled back down now.
But even if it does, it's got to sit right over the hole. If it goes in, it's end of frame.
No, I think it could be behind the yellow and blocking the black, and
I would actually double this left side. It can cause more damage over there.
The in-off is very dangerous to do that.
Well, he's just gone full-blooded.
And he tried to put that
and
to get position. And that's actually probably ended up slightly better than he was before.
And that percentage there, if you were to scale that out of 100, that was probably 1.4% chance. That's how low percentage that shot was. But that's what he does. That's the sort of shots he likes to play.
That's what he does. Now, Marc Robertson down the bottom right there is on another out. And he's played that yellow well off the cushion.
Yeah, he'll stun centre table now.
He'll probably come right back to the rail and give himself a shot in the black in the opposite centre, or come past the black and go back near. Oh, geez.
He's tried to play the shot, I said, come centre table, and he's chopped it up. I actually wonder if he got a bit of a dodgy contact there, because the white ball seemed to jump a bit. I actually reckon he'll double this. So Jamo, after Butters, just causes all sorts.
Now this is one of the few frames that we've seen between these two tonight where they've actually decided to dig in a bit, feel each other out.
Well, Butters hasn't. He's just tried to go for everything. He's just got
that's true.
A few clusters.
That's true. He didn't. Yeah, that's a good double from Marc. That was a tricky double, and he's played it well.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if he missed that and Gav did steal that frame. 5-4.
How is Butters going to have a go here, Jamie? No, he's pulled up. He's finally
he's tried to cover this red over the hole.
He's tried to cover over the hole, yeah. And he's probably no worse, but probably no better either.
It's tricky. He's almost sucked Jamo into playing this plan. If he doesn't get it, then he leaves Butters to plant himself with the development shot. Yeah. So you've got to be real careful. You got to recognise those shots. So what's really funny here, I'm not adverse to playing the yellow that he's closest to. Half ball, taking the white ball just past centre pocket up to the bottom row behind the black, just like this. Well, that's unfortunate, because that is exactly what I was talking about. Wow, and he's put himself in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, here's one thing I've learnt from watching CueballTV over the last couple of years and listening to your commentary, Jamie, is I used to be very much more focused on object ball type safety, trying to cover a pocket with the ball. And one thing I've learnt a lot from watching games on CueballTV is white ball safety. Keeping a white ball safe can actually be much more influential in your games.
Yeah, I actually commented a little while ago. There are two great shot, unlucky. there are two types of safety. There's pocket control safety and there's white ball area where you place a white ball on the table type safety. The pocket control safety is something that I feel I'm strong with, but the white ball component is something that I think needs a lot of work. Now, if you watch someone like Mick Hill, his white ball is sick. Like, it's so good. Yeah. And I really enjoy watching him play, not for him potting out, although I like the way he lands on natural angles all the time, but the way if he's in trouble, he just puts that white ball in a dodgy spot for his opponent. He did it at Big Guns a hell of a lot when he was in trouble in frames. It won him a lot of frames. And it's really, I think it's key. Butters has taken on another very aggressive
Well, I think
shot.
even for me, I've adjusted my perception of the percentages. Like 5 years ago, I'd be far more inclined to play a pocket control safety, whereas today I might look at, if I've got a pocket control safety and a white ball control safety, I might choose the white ball control option today, whereas historically I wouldn't have.
Yeah, and the reason so many people fail to switch to it is because if you don't get the white ball in the right spot, you can leave the frame wide open.
That's right.
Whereas with a pocket covering type safety, well, you're going to cover the pocket, so you've got the safety almost automatically. It's these guys that are so good with the white, they're supremely confident that they're always going to get the safety, so they have no hesitation in playing it whatsoever. And I don't know if that's good enough there from Steve.
No.
As I talk about pocket covering safety being guaranteed.
He has not got that neat. The red may not go in front, but the yellow's not blocking it.
Do you know what?
Closer anyway.
I'd be tempted to pot this. I'd be tempted to pot the red onto the yellow here and leave him hard up on the yellow.
Yep, I agree. He's got
such a dodgy out from there.
In fact, every other ball is dodgy.
I mean, yes, this yellow, top side of the table as we look at the screen, goes inside the red. But you've got to get on this ball here. You've got to develop this ball here. It's just, yeah, to me, it's a dodgy out.
I think he's going to punch the yellow out. Yep. Now, that's actually still a similar outcome, but without giving 2 shots away. Every yellow is dodgy.
This plant goes, I reckon. And he's left him straight on this ball inside the red.
Yeah, it didn't look like that from the side view, did it? But
you're right, though. It is tricky because he's got to play a good positional shot right off the shot. Like, he's got a deep score off.
Nevertheless, he's got 1 shot, and Butters has got that dirty red in the open.
Well, he's played that really well.
He's played that well, and he's played a good positional shot too.
And Robbo's just teeing off over there now.
He must be a good 4-frame lead now, is he?
Yeah, he's 7-3 up. Well, I'm surprised he denied himself the ball on the cushion there, but it isn't in the black vicinity, so he's probably going to leave it till last.
It's probably the key ball to be on the black.
Transition back to it, though, is, in my eyes, the tricky part.
No, he's going to be very natural. Oh! He would have been natural had he potted that to get on that other yellow.
Well, I can't believe he's missed that. And it looks like he's left Butters a pretty good angle to play this ball in the middle and just come off the back cushion.
He's got a natural angle, hasn't he, to dislodge that red on the side rail.
This looks perfect. Just plain ball. Maybe a touch of left-hand side. He's used a bit of side, just a little bit, but that's all he needed.
Yep. Butters should peg one back.
That's actually a really bad shot from Steve, but he took that maybe a bit easy.
Yeah, he just took his eye off the pot, maybe. Great positional shot from Butters.
Butters makes no mistakes and pegs one back. 9-6 would have been a bit dodgy for Butters, but he'll be happy with 8-7.
Probably the longest frame of the match, that one. And it's gone Butters' way.
Yeah, well, you can see these guys have played 9 frames. The other guys, what have they played? What was the score? 8-7. They played 15. They've almost played a full match of frames ahead of these other guys. And that's why I wanted to focus on them a little more, because I knew that they'd finish quicker.
Who's got the ball here? Sparky does. Wow.
Very missable, that red, off the bottom rail. I'm going to get you to flick back, Dan. We might as well see the conclusion of this match, because I don't think it's going to take that long, to be honest. We're going to get plenty of time on the other match.
Yeah.
Well, unlucky, because he broke them well. I felt Steve broke really well last week against me as well. He was getting good splits and And we actually commented afterwards because I was potting balls as well, but he felt that his splits were better than mine. But I wasn't upset about that because I was happy for clustered splits.
He's worked
Against Steve, I was anyway.
Steve has worked very hard on his break. He had a little coaching session with Mick Hill when Mick was out here, and one of the things that he focused on with Mick was his break. And he's put in quite a bit of time trying to make sure he gets a good split and gets a ball in. It's paying dividends for him too, especially with his style of play.
It's actually very funny too. I learnt one really valuable lesson about the way Mick Hill develops frames when he's potting out. But it's one of those things that you can't do unless you put time into the game. So I put a little bit of time in the game there, and I was just practicing just this particular thing. And it made my game so much better consistently, making outs more, just feeling better, more confident. Well, that's a bad shot, 2 shots. And then I stopped practicing again, and suddenly that's just gone.
Right.
And my ability to make these outs that I felt like I could make before are just gone. And it's incredible that, and I have now discovered after that what needs to be practiced to basically sharpen your game. It's not racking balls up or doing drills. It's working out natural angles to develop frames. So, if you've got a ball in the cushion, work out what ball gives you the natural angle to kick that out where you're still on another ball or the ball you've kicked out. It's all about finding natural angles. So you don't have to do anything fancy with the wide. If you've got to play it as a stun shot is a skill shot. You can understun a ball, you can overstun a ball. Plain ball shot is not a skill shot. It's just pot the ball, natural path takes it into where you want, and there's no danger in the shot.
Yep. Yeah, it's another thing that Jamieon commented that Mick talked to him about. He said he used to quite often leave himself a shot where he would require a skill shot, a shot where he'd cue through the ball because that's his instinct, where he'd have to play a bit of stun or a bit of screw. And Mick coached him to leave himself a more natural angle more consistently.
And he even leaves himself thinner cuts on balls.
Tougher pots.
Yeah, but he flicks off them with side to widen angles to get down the other end of the table to land in bigger areas of the table so he can't snooker himself, for example.
Yeah.
He has the key to playing the right standard of pool at a high level. But it's just, like I said, you've got to practice it. You've got to... Identifying it is actually the first part of it because it's so easy not to see it. And I'm still learning it I'm not even 5% of learning the components of it. It's probably the only thing that excites me about practicing at the moment because I'm not, I don't have that passion and hunger and desire to succeed like I used to. I'm not saying that'll never happen again, but at the moment, I've got other focuses, and I've got to be honest with you, I would love it to come back because I really do love the game.
Yeah, when you're playing really well, it feels great. You've got to put the hard yards in to do that. Now, Gemmo's played 2 bad shots in a row there. Sorry, missed 2 pots that he was going for, I should say.
Well, I think you're fair to say they were bad shots. Your diplomacy kicked in there for a minute. You put your businessman's hat on, and I just straightened you straight out.
And Butters is chasing him because Butters played a bad shot when he didn't hit a cushion, and then he's just outright missed a pot as well. So
a bit too much concentration on the cannon.
4 shots in a row from both players that were just terrible.
And it's funny too because we're at the business end of the match. Both players should be pretty settled.
They've just come off a really long tactical frame, which is not their style. They might be a little bit out of sorts, trying to find some rhythm again.
Yep, hence why I decided to put him in full lockdown last week, mate. I just decided that, you know what, if you want to play this style of game, good luck to you, but you've got to have to produce giant outs every frame. Just as a personal trumpet blow, anyone out there that doesn't rate me, keep doing it. Anyone else out there that does rate me, stop doing it. Stop rating me. I love not being rated. Absolutely love it.
I did some number crunching recently, Jamie. You know how much I love a stat.
I do like a stat.
I do like a stat. Now, it's interesting, all this information is available from the Nationals online. They tell you about everyone's win-loss percentage and what they do. And they also tell you the master breaks. And I can tell you that over the last 5 years, across several thousand frames at national level, that pot outs off the break can happen only about 7% of the time. It's surprisingly low compared to what
That's
most...
higher than I expect you to say.
Yeah, and I can tell you that if you get rid of the top 5 players, your Jake McCartneys, your Rusty Wheelers, your Benny Noonans...
Get rid of James Delahunty.
Get rid of James Delahunty. Yeah, it comes down about another 1.5%, so it comes down to about 6%, which is about 1 frame in 17 that someone goes out off the break.
Yep.
So when you look at a best of 11, sorry, a race to 11, 17 might be a pretty common total number of frames that are played. So you can expect in a, it might be an 11-6, that's 17 frames.
Yep.
If any more than one of those frames is out off the break, it's statistically unusual.
Well, I was about to comment on what a horrible shot Steve played the shot before that one, because he had an absolute mountain of area to land in. He's played a sensational recovery shot.
And despite Butters pegging one back, Jamieon is going to push out. Oh, he'll pop this.
Yeah, that was like I said, that was a horrible shot he played to get position on the shot before the one he just played, but he recovered very well. So 9-7.
Pushes out a little bit again. That 2-frame buffer is going to be handy, and that is...
look at this. That is terrible.
That is terrible.
Oh, Gavin he needs something like this to happen.
Now, I'm not sure you can blame your shoulder for that one, Sparky.
Well, he will, because he couldn't generate enough power. I'm going to hang a bit of shit on him, actually, because he specifically went out of his way to message me and tell me that he had a sore shoulder, so that's why his breaks wouldn't be like they normally are. So he's very conscious of the commentary and feedback that he receives, and critique, yes. And there has been a number of occasions, I will also add, that I've called a shot or whatever, and he'll go back and watch, and then he'll send me a message going, that shot you said about this doing this and that and that and other, that wasn't on.
And he's completely missed getting out of the snooker too. So Gavin Robertson's now got 2 shots on the reds down there on the bottom right of your screen.
I've got to say, I mean, I'm buzzing for Gav, if I'm Gav. I've got 2 shots, but I would have liked a slightly better white, if I'm going to be really upset.
He should take that pot to the bottom left on straight away.
Oh,
and
Butters gets greedy.
Very greedy. Now, does this yellow to the bottom right go, Jamie?
That's key right now, isn't it?
That is key.
I can't quite see. I reckon there's a chance.
Dan's going to switch the view up for us.
Oh, that tells us real close.
It's close. And even if it does, he may have to pinch pocket, in which case he can't do much with the white. Gavin Roberts has nailed that pot, but not left himself a great white.
Actually, I think he's all right. I think he can play a little soft screw off a side cushion and land on those other 2.
That's good if he can. So Butters has turned around and gone the opposite direction. Fair enough.
Yep,
Gavin's looking very good. Good pot and good position.
Yeah, it's a very good shot there.
That's a great shot from Butters. He's going to play for the ball on the left-hand side of the screen next, because he can run that down and naturally get to the one in the centre.
Yeah, I think this one in the centre, though, I don't think he can get an angle where he can stun down, so I think he's going to have to play just a little run-through and leave himself a tougher pot on the last yellow. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But that's how I'm sort of reading it from the way the table is.
He's having a look. It must be very close if he's lining it up.
Good shot there from Gavin as well.
Come on, Gav.
Still got 2 shots. Everyone loves an underdog.
Yeah. We'll give Gav a little cheer while he's a couple of frames behind.
And I must say, I don't think anyone, except for Mick, because they're lovers, wants Robbo to win, because, well, he's won it every year. So everyone wants someone else to win it.
Yeah, they're looking for someone else to lift the silverware.
just a little bit of a nervous little moment there for Gav, but he's all
He
right.
was worried about it sitting on the cushion, but well done. Back to 7-4 for Gavin Roberts.
And what Gav should do now is just take a toilet break, bench press a few 9-ball tables and fire up.
Now, this is interesting. Butters is going a different way than I expected.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. What am I wowing about? That's like
that
just
was
standard.
Now, that was a great pot, but his angle is too big on this yellow down the rail.
Perfect. It's perfect. You watch.
You think he'll hold?
He won't even hold. He'll just come across and just nudge the black land fat. Or he'll pick the gap between the black and the red on the screen there and land perfect. I'm telling you, he plays these shots really well. Look at this. He's hit the black, but he's just not got the pot.
Well, he's left Jamo a chance here.
I'm telling you now, Marty, you're going to call me crazy, but if this is me, I put the red over the hole, white off the side cushion, rest on the black.
That's not crazy, Jimmy. It's probably exactly what I'd do. But you and I probably don't have the potting ability of Steve Jamieson, though.
I just don't like this out. It's just horrible. Well,
And
he's
he's
played the
done
shot
it.
I said, but that was disgusting.
I think you've left him a cut.
Yeah, that's badly played. He actually focused more on the white there than the object ball, but it's one of those shots you just had to give it a touch aside. But that was one shot where the pocket coverage was more important because at least you're covering the black.
Well, he's got neither now.
I don't even know where this goes. If he's got to cut it in, does he?
He's screwing into the red.
That is a super shot. Wow, he
That's
might
unlucky. If
be. I think he's okay.
It's going to be super thin. He's just checking how big an angle can I get. No, he's
This
okay.
is pretty thin, but
It's
you're
pretty
right.
thin, but I think he's okay. He's got a big area to land in.
Just going to load this up with side and just pinch the angle more. There it is. But, well, he's played that actually sensational.
He's played that very well. Just pulled it back to one frame again.
Yeah, that was a huge chance for Butters to establish
Neither
hill.
player managing to get away. In fact, it's gone frame for frame the entire match except for Butters reeling off 2 in a row at one stage. So
This must have been a Robbo shoulder break. Actually, after Robbo messaged me, I've actually just had a skin cancer cut out of my chest, so I've got stitches at the moment. So I tried to have a hit the other day, and it hurt like mad. So I can't actually practice until the stitches come out, which is actually the day that we play, or presuming he wins, that is.
Does it hurt when you break, mate?
No, it's on my left chest, but it hurts when I stretch out to put my hand on the table. Just pulls a little, so I've had to not play.
Maybe if you broke with your hand on the rail, it wouldn't matter, Jamie.
No, that wouldn't make any difference for every shot. Hey, I'll have you know, the current world champion breaks with his hand on the table. Props to you, Sean Chipperfield. Represent. So Butters with a chance here. It's a tricky out, but it's gettable.
Both colours are gettable here. He's going to take reds.
I like the reds.
I like reds. They're probably slightly better to me.
That's a good shot.
That's good. He's left himself angled to come up towards the ball line a little bit to clear this slightly dirty red in the centre.
And I'll tell you what I also like. I like where he's checking the exact angle where he can actually stun the white to the ball over the pocket on the left-hand side of the table afterwards, because that is actually going to be the key shot to making this out, because he wants a little angle to just drop onto these 2 balls into the centre. So this, to me, is very key, this shot right here.
I think he's got options. He doesn't need to play for the ball in the bottom left, but he may very well do that. But he's got multiple options at this point.
Well, you're right. He can't just drop this other ball in the middle like he's doing now. I just liked...
I'm not sure he's going to do that. He might play the one in the corner, but...
No, he's definitely going to play this ball in the middle now. At least he's got too much angle.
If he does play it,
he'll play it for sure.
If he plays it in the middle, he has got a more natural angle from that one in the corner to take our Mick Hill theory of just plain ball shots.
Well, this is the thing too. You don't just want to land on a ball. You want to land on such a way where you can screw off one and be on the other one, or play it in such a way where you know you're going to be on the other ball afterwards. And that is very good.
That's good here.
But see how that wasn't natural though? He stunned it, had a little bit of side on it, like it's a skill shot.
It wasn't an easy shot to play as well as he did. Like he's done that well. He'd probably take the top of these two reds and run through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think this
Give himself 2 options then. He's got the red to the bottom right or the red to the centre if he does that.
I still reckon he should have put that ball in the middle. He can potentially run into trouble with it, that's all. And this angle,
I think he's perfect.
Very
He
dead
can
straight.
play the bottom right and screw back a little bit. Even if he kisses off that yellow, he's fine.
I reckon he's got more angle than you think, and I think he's going into the yellow. I'm probably wrong, because he's got straight down on this. Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I like
you
being
were
wrong.
Completely wrong.
I'm a wrong master.
Put that down in the record books, folks.
Marty
It's
Andrews
a clear call that I got right.
has got another stat to his name of correct calls. And Butters is about to level up, and you just sense that he's starting to go favourite.
It's a bit of momentum.
Watch his back arm here. Watch for the potential chicken wing. See the chicken wing at the end? He's already got through the shot, but he pulls the arm out. It just does that little chicken wing.
Now, momentum is with Butters. It was only a couple of frames ago that Steve Jamieson had a 2-frame buffer.
Yeah, and played that really bad shot on the red to cover the black and get the snooker at the same time.
But that long tactical frame kind of threw them both out. Now, Butters has kind of regained momentum first.
That long tactical frame that took about 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Long tactical frame for those two. Speaking of tactical frames, there's some analysis going on here for Gavin Ellis.
It must be on yellows. Because yellows are in all sorts of trouble.
Can Butters keep it rolling with the break?
Oh, look at reds. Just the black really is the trickiest ball on the table if you were to clear from here.
Well, Reds has got a couple of options to just nudge it a little bit, haven't they?
I'm not sure if this shot's on, but if it is, I'm playing this thinner than what the natural angle is to the pocket, and I'm trying to land on this ball. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'm going to try and land on this ball that's to the left of the black, as you see on the screen now, and just try and get an angle just to screw side roll
into the black.
Yep.
Just to nudge it towards the centre a little bit. Yeah. If he can get on that shot early, and he's looking at it straight away, you can see. If he can get on that shot early, that will set the frame up incredibly well.
And don't get me wrong, you don't have to play any movement, any cannons at all here.
This is pretty good.
You can get on this black, but you need to consider the table that you're playing on. For example, if you watch the recent, well, not so recent now, but the Western National Tournament that James Delahunty won, those pockets are so generous.
Not super great.
That's okay. That goes pretty neat, that black. Those pockets at Western National were so generous that you just play for that ball down the rail and punch it in. Like they were that nice to play on for open play. These are trickier. So moving the black there, I don't think is a bad option. I think that black's pretty gettable from where it is. You just got to land behind it.
Well, it's interesting to see Butters just recently winning a major tournament at Berry and come back, and he lost 3 or 4 matches in a row in this league because he'd come from a tournament where he's playing on tables where everything went, suited his style of play. Oh,
good shot.
And continued to just try and pot everything, and it didn't work for him. So
yeah, I actually played Butters' first round.
When he came back?
Yeah, I was actually filthy to draw. I'm one of those guys that just likes a first easy match or two to get rolling.
Yeah.
And I actually missed a dead straight black in the middle of the very first frame. I was shaking so bad on it, and I just missed it. And I've ended up losing the match 3-2 from 2-0 down. And I felt that good that weekend.
Oh, this was at Berry.
Yeah, I felt better than I've felt in a really long time at a tournament. And
I think I saw that frame.
I was just disgusted in myself.
On the live stream, yes. Yep.
But, you know, it happens to the best of us.
It's a little bit of angle to get up table, and he's got it.
Yeah, and Butters is
he's going to go
now
on the hill from 9-7 down, I think.
And this has actually been a pretty good out because he's had to sort of reevaluate and reconstruct a couple of times. And
well, he's nudged the black twice. Not terribly difficult, but he's nudged it twice. He's done what he needed to do. Now, I'm assuming that this is not hard up on the
This
rail, and he
does
can
not
just drop
miss.
this in.
This is like unmissable for him.
And he is on the hill with momentum.
Yeah, Jamieon might be a little filthy with himself.
Asking the question of Steve Jamieson.
The other question I've got to ask of Steve Jamieson too is, last week he didn't close out against me like he had good sort of, I think we're 8-all or something at one stage, 8-7 or something, and then suddenly he's lost 11-8. A similar thing happening right here, where he was.
Well, he hasn't been in that position all season long, Jamie. He's never been asked the question. Now,
Yeah, so Gav's obviously on yellows and fouled.
that's right.
So big break here for Steve, and he's pot one.
He's got one in, and he's on yellow.
Jeez.
Maybe on a red to the top left.
This is this is an interesting frame too, because
if
they're so
on
open.
If he's on that red to the top left, that's probably the ball to take.
Do you like the reds, do you?
Well,
I know why you say that, because they're all in one end near the black.
yeah.
It's one of those really tricky frames where you can't afford any more mistakes. This frame is so open, but there's this small little cluster.
There's a little cluster of those two yellows next to the white and the red to the left of them. That's the key cluster. There's two yellows in there that need working out and one red.
Well, one goes to centre really comfortably, but I think the other
It's
one.
possible that if that red goes to the top left corner, that he could screw into it immediately and just nudge it open. Yeah, but he's taking yellows.
I think I'd take yellows here too, to be honest.
I don't think that's a great shot. I think he moved a red that he didn't need to, and has left himself a harder white.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm really curious to know whether this yellow, and Dan will be able to tell us by going to side view, this yellow that's stuck to the red or not stuck to it, whether it goes in that centre at the top there. Do you think that passes the red?
I think it does.
If it does, I don't mind this. You've just got to get down this end of the table. And you know what? If you clear this ball in the middle here as well, it goes to the top as well.
Oh, you think he can drop the other yellow into the centre and stay on the side rail?
Yeah, just get onto it.
I don't think he's got a great big area to land in to get on that. Because he's coming from long distance to get into that zone too.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow. A lot of side on that.
Has he even played for that pot, do you think?
Oh, I think he has.
He must have.
Do you think he's played to leave the white? Oh, you reckon he's
missed
trying to
that
land
by-
behind the yellow?
Maybe.
You might be right.
He missed it by a very long way.
You know what? I think you're right, because there was absolutely no reason to load up tons of right-hand side on that. He knows how to judge side. He missed the pot by a mile. I think he's tried to sneak the yellow under the white under the yellow for a safety.
Now, I probably run this ball down.
No, he's going to play the double and go berserk. Oh, he's left this angle for. He's left this shot for Butters I was talking about, but sorry for Steve. But this yellow is blocking the pot. I don't think he can drop this in for the middle either. There's too much angle.
Can he double this? He can't get past that yellow.
No, I don't think so.
For the double? So he's basically in the same situation as he was before. He's
Loaded up with an absolute enormous amount of left-hand side off the side cushion and just nudge the red, land on the yellow. That's crazy talk.
That is crazy.
You probably don't even touch these at the moment.
No, I think they're saving a frame right now.
You know what?
If you don't think you're putting out, those two yellows are actually...
If you don't think you're potting out, you double this red, the yellow off the three on the right-hand side, back down the other end of the table. Try and pick this scalpel on the side rail and put it near the pocket and just block a ton of balls.
Yep, that's
Like
where all the action's
potting
at.
any ball right now.
He could cut it down right now. His white will stay up that end of the table. He could cut it down.
The problem is, coming in from that angle, it's no good. You needed to widen the angle more by using the bottom rail, or the top rail, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. He can double it to the bottom left, put that yellow down near the black.
This is one of those situations where you just want a good white.
He has to keep the white safe no matter what. There's no point bringing the white down this end of the table.
Where the white is right now,
So
it's
the
not a
question
bad
is,
spot.
what can he do with the yellow to slow Peter Butters
Yeah, I don't mind this.
down?
I don't mind
That's
that
not
shot.
bad.
Oh. He puts his hand
Puts
up
his
in
hand up.
apology.
Don't apologise, Steve Jamieson. You absolutely meant to put the white near that pocket. That was not a complete fluke.
I'll tell you what,
partial
though,
fluke, but not a complete fluke.
Putters manages to get a dead weight drop in here. He's a chance to win the match.
He's got to play the ball. The two that are closest to the bottom rail, the one on the right hand side.
I agree. Yeah, play it as a dead weight shot.
Dead weight shot. He's going to have a safe white.
Might not actually have a shot on it afterwards, but he'll have options, and he'll have good options available to him as well.
I wouldn't play the bottom.
Yeah,
That's a good shot.
He's in a commanding position now.
I think Steve can see the yellow at the top of the table.
Yeah, I agree. This is where I think you've got to
In
double
which case
it down.
he doubles it back down near the black. Yeah.
This is one time I try and cover the pocket. Get the white ball on the right-hand side cushion. Limit the number of balls Butters can play.
I get the feeling, Jamie, that our styles are a bit too still. It's not very good for commentary. We seem to pick the same shots quite a bit.
I'm actually commentating this as if I can't lose another frame. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm playing all the right
we didn't have
safety
much.
shots.
That's actually...
I think he's played for that. I think he's played as sneaking behind that yellow.
Yeah, right.
If you're like 2-all, then I'm commentating this so differently. I'm having a dip, you know.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
But you've got to sort of consider what Steve's probably going through at the moment as well. And
Interesting that 4 frames ago, I think we saw that deep tactical battle from those two, and we're seeing another one now. Peter on the hill.
yeah, it's not unusual to see when someone's on the hill like this, if tactical frames start to happen. If you're the one that's in trouble and you can't lose any more frames.
Yeah, Jamo. Asking the question of Butters, saying if you want to win the match, you've got to go out there and take it. Now,
Butters is just saying, give me a shot.
Can he pot this bottom yellow to the centre? Can he cut it? He's looking at it.
Wow.
Well,
this is
may well be on, and if it does, it clears the red.
This is the match,
and
right?
Jamo will go. This is the match if this. He's playing it, yeah.
And he's missed it.
He's missed it.
That will be the end of this match, I recall. See that shot there, like...
Butters is on this to that centre on the right-hand side.
You know what? I actually probably would have played that shot myself, but I just would have done a couple of laps of the table, just psyched myself up for the shot.
I think he had to back himself to pot it. That's his style of play.
Just got to get yourself fully composed for a shot like that. It's a match. You don't want to be holding your breath as you play the shot, you know, and being all tense on the shot.
Yeah.
You just want to be relaxed and say, well, I'll just pot this and win.
Now that little line up next to the black spot on the right-hand side there, some neat cue ball control required. Doesn't have to be amazing, just has to be.
I'm so not surprised Butters has played this. He's actually played, I reckon, for the middle of the three.
Yellow on this
Yep, spot on. But I reckon he played for the middle of the three because he had some right-hand side on it, but just didn't take because he dragged it too much.
Yeah, right. He's got to screw back a little bit now. So just stun, give himself a couple of options, one to the left centre and one to the bottom left.
I don't reckon this shot's even necessary.
Is he playing through it?
Do you know what? That right there.
He played for white ball safety.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Marty, the ball that he's just above, that's just above the left of the two, play that long, stun it, shot to nothing. The white ball just stays exactly as a snooker, and you've got the ball in the corner, and it's an easy out.
Maybe I've misread the plot.
Dan, can you replay that? Well, you can't have the replay. I'm telling you now, that was an absolutely crazy option. This was a I love to play these type of shots option, and not a look how easy this out is as a shot to nothing.
Sure. If that pops on, sure you just back yourself to the pot.
Have a look. Have a look at this pot to the bottom corner. Sorry, the top left corner. Play it as a stun shot, and it is the easiest shot to nothing of all time. He's just not seen it.
I thought that pot to the centre was dead on.
I thought that was very missable.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, you've got to get the perfect angle, the perfect pace. That shot was just stun.
Now
the white ball comes back, and
there is some golf left in this frame now.
I'd love to see
that red that Butters has put on the right-hand side up near the ball line is not boding well for him.
I don't like this. I don't like this shot, Steve. Sorry. Wow. Wow. I just said,
Dislodged the red.
I'm just going to
But
shut up because that's a great shot.
He's giving himself a massive.
I would have been
If he
trying to
clears
play the
this frame
ball
now-
that he's on now. Off the
He-
side cushion.
If he clears this frame now, he puts the pressure right back on Peter Butterworth.
What a time to produce that shot. That was sick. Still needs a couple of good shots.
He strutted around the table as he lined up to play that too.
I like how he's taking his time a little bit more here. He just masturbates his cue as he always does between shots. He does. He gets his little. You watch. That's
Wow.
too far.
That is on, but he's overrun that by.
I think he can actually drop this in dead weight and hold the wide okay. I think. Could be wrong.
He can, but he absolutely should not have been there. Now,
Oh, this is actually thin. I mean, it's not thin as far as unpottable, but it's thin for white ball control.
yeah. Well potted.
Oh,
and
he's got a
that is-
dream result.
That is incredible. Well
Wow,
done.
that's sick.
And we are going to the hill.
Any other contact on the black other than that could have been very bad. And I think Hill is a fitting result for this match. It's been
Absolutely.
to and fro, it's been back and forth, it's been entertaining. I love it.
Yep. We're going to a decider.
And it is Butter's break as well. Could be key.
Now, Gavin has played a good shot down the rail, but left himself a tricky position.
This has been going for days, this frame. I think the other guys have played like 4 frames.
Gavin is not letting Marc run away with this.
Oh, that's a bad shot. That is just a horrible shot. Oh, he's got 2.
He's got 2.
Never mind. Here I am calling horrible.
And what
It's
about
not
the
that
black?
bad. Well, he was always going to play for a double.
Yeah, fair enough.
Here we go. Hill.
There we go. Butters would dearly love to not have Jamo back at the table.
Oh, he just
for the
flicks a
match.
red in. That little right
Little
right
yellow.
earlobe that he cued across there is just managed to get a ball in.
Now, I don't know if you can see a yellow to pot it. Yellows are the better ball here, but I don't think you can see one, Jamie.
I reckon you can pot the one that's closest to the black. I reckon it goes clean.
Through the gap there.
Yep. He's looking at it. He's checking it.
He's looking at it.
Does he
Yeah.
like it? Well, he's definitely on the one that's on the right-hand side down the rail. If he doesn't like this other one.
Oh, yes,
so-
yes.
And he
that's
doesn't
what
have
he's
to pot
playing,
it.
yeah.
Like he's on him now already. Look at this shot from Gavin
Gavin
Roberts.
Roberts.
Great shot from
great
Gavin
pass.
Roberts. And you know what? I actually hate 10 alls and someone breaks and pots out, no matter who they are, because it's just the other bloke didn't get a chance. Whoever won the lag.
I don't mind 10 all when someone breaks and pots out when it's me. Well, I can't say that's probably ever happened.
But having said that, I only think it sucks if no one's missed a ball for the entire match. I have actually only ever seen that once in my life in pool.
Yeah, at Worlds.
At
standard.
Worlds when it was Mick Hill and Gareth Potts, which I'm sure people have heard me talk about a million times now because it was just the match of my life to watch. Very good shot there
Wow,
from Butters.
there's no way I would have played that shot.
I think that
But-
right
but
there
that's-
was the
that's
most
quite
important
natural
shot for the out.
Yeah, that was the tricky ball to get on, and he's done that very well. He's even got a little bit of angle to come.
Yeah, would love to have been on the bulk line there just to dribble it
He
in.
may be able to get himself options here.
If he can stun in the gap, that's
But
what he
just
wants.
if he can stun the gap, yeah, that would be ideal.
Well, that's okay.
He could have, but that's actually good. The black will help nicely.
Yeah, I think you'll can into the black here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll hold the white for him. The black won't move very far. The red will move to the bottom cushion. Now, it's just a question of what the angles are like as to which way you go here.
I think he's just going to pot the one on the right-hand side first and screw back.
I think you're right. As long as he can still come down a little bit to give himself good angle.
Well, this is... They're all elimination
They're
now,
all
aren't they?
elimination, yeah.
Every match is elimination from now?
Yep.
Bit unfair on me who hasn't lost yet.
Now,
It's not on.
now his white ball's going the wrong direction, but it's okay. He's just going to drop it in and leave himself a cut on the black.
Off the red, should be okay. Oh, there's a good angle of it, actually.
He's going to push it to the bottom cushion a little
off
bit,
it.
but it won't matter.
Oh, he's actually checked it up too really nicely.
Didn't need to.
Well, I think if he didn't, it might have been down another inch.
He saved himself. Not very much. Nevertheless, he's got himself a good shot at the black.
Will there be...
Jamo will be spewing on the side rail.
He will be filthy, and that is in... No, it's
No,
over
it's
the pocket,
nice.
so he has got a chance. So Jamo does have a chance, and I'll tell you what, he is eyeing off this ball to the corner to kick the ball out near the black shot it right
Butters
away.
is wandering over towards the commentary. Yeah.
I really think Steve needs to play it. I just want to see him play it.
Which one do you think he's going to play?
Play the
Jim?
ball bottom of the table.
Oh, yes.
Cannon
Kick
the
other
ball
one
off the
out.
side.
Yes.
He'd be stiff as hell not to be on another ball.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
He's such a clean pot. If you don't get the cannon, you've got options.
If he misses that red completely, he'll be on one up the top. And if he hits solid in it, he'll be on one of the two near the centre.
Yeah, he's looking at
Just
it.
looking at that, yeah. Do you play this off one cushion or two?
I'll play this
Probably
off one.
Off one, it's quite natural. He's hitting the red.
It looks perfect to me. Oh, he stunned
tried
it.
to play it off two.
He stunned it.
Well,
Now,
he's got
you know
a good
what?
snooker coming now.
Yeah, that was the second prize. But this is the sort of thing that Butters gets out of really easy in pots. So
He may... I tell you what, you could chip off the one that you're closest to and get behind two reds here.
I don't think it actually makes things any better because...
I'm not sure. I actually think that might be easier than playing the one closest to the cushion.
Do you know what I want to do here, honestly? You kind of want to chip this in such a way where you land hard up on the other red so you can't, you block the cross table, but by doing that you are a chance to pick the gap and leave a dead straight black on.
Yeah, I actually think it might be difficult to, because there's a chance you might roll through a little bit.
I don't like this shot.
No, I think this is the shot.
I don't think this
This
makes...
might be a time when we disagree, Jamie. I think this is a great shot.
Okay, so you play that shot.
Yep.
Let's say you just played the red that he just cannoned outright. It's the same thing.
No.
It was more difficult. It's exactly the same thing. The white ball would have been exactly there still.
No, because he's got to hit a cushion after that, so he's got to give it enough weight to hit the cushion.
Yeah,
and there's
you
a
hit him-
chance it might roll through and leave him on the black.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. It was off the cushion by a good ball, so he had to give it a little bit.
I think he pots this. Unfortunately for Steve, he didn't have a lot of options at all, but I think this is not a good enough snooker. If he doesn't pot it, I think he still hits it.
Normally this is not good enough against Butters, but he's going to get good enough against Butters on the hill, 10-all.
He's just
in an
used to
elimination
playing these
final.
shots. He's just used to playing these shots. And to me, you want to be hitting this. So I reckon you want to be hitting this about half a foot before the centre pocket, but he's lining up much closer to the centre than that. Oh no, it was about half a foot, and that's in.
It's in. Well done.
Yeah. So I actually called that perfectly. I can't believe it.
Probably deserving for Butters to win on a double.
Well, yeah, that cannon, like I said, he had to cannon that red. He missed it.
Had to get a better snooker, yeah.
He didn't have any choice there.
Yeah.
So Butters wins 11-10. He will face Mick Skerry next week. Meanwhile, this is 7-5. Yeah, so Gavin
Yes.
isn't going away. Plays, well, I wouldn't say it's an awesome shot.
Ordinary shot.
And we have quite a bit of pool left in this match, I would think. Robbo not in a hurry. Obviously doesn't have dinner waiting on the table when he gets home. And does not care that I have to drive an hour and 20 minutes home to Ballarat.
For 2 shots, Gavin.
Wow, if he had 2 shots, that's a really bad shot.
So he was
played.
trying to get behind this yellow
Does this go?
from that last shot. He was trying to get behind it.
Yeah, in actual case, that was a pretty good shot, but he's underhit that grossly. But not the worst shot ever. But you know what? If that went clean, then you have to commit to that and come off 2 or 3 rails and get back down the table behind the other yellow. Like,
Yeah,
it goes
fair
clean, the black goes. I think that's the sort of shot you've got to play if you've got the opportunity. Now, what does Robbo do here? He says, I'm going to try and sneak this red in front.
Put a soldier in front.
And he's played
He's
it
done
to
He's
perfection.
Right.
Gav says, well, I'm going to pop this.
Gonna put that
red
yellow
my
straight on top of that red. Ask the question.
You'd rather be asking this question at 7-5 up than 7-5 down. But
Now he wants to give this enough for the yellow to roll in front of the black.
yes. And more importantly, he doesn't want to leave the
Just
gap.
trickling it onto the red and having the red drop in and leaving the black still open into the pocket is no good.
You don't want to leave the gap for the red underneath either. So you'd have to actually play this really bad to not cover the black. Because even if you hit this full, I reckon it's going to be actually full's the only way.
I'm wondering if he should play the other yellow. It's going to knock the red out. That was the only problem.
Yeah. I just like this bottom one because you're leaving a dodgy plant on.
Yeah.
But you know what? Your shot has merit because... No, I definitely like this bottom one. That red.
The only way
horrible.
that the other yellow has merit is if the yellow on the bottom cushion is blocking the red on the bottom cushion. But I don't think it is.
Well, I think the red that the other yellow is blocking is actually more key.
That's not good enough.
Might not be.
Or he's left the black open.
He's checked it, doesn't like it. But Robbo still has 2 things to do here. He's got to get this plant or the ball inside the red if that's the case. And he also needs to deal with this other dodgy red.
Robbo can play the red above the black, and the white's going to push the yellow across to his other red on the left-hand side. So he can do that immediately, get some safety, and then continue
Jeez,
on
I don't know
into
if I
merry
like that shot. You'd have to screw off it a little bit because you look at that angle. I reckon you'd be hitting high on the yellow. Steve's come over. Bad luck, Steve.
Come over with his tail between his legs. Bad luck, mate.
It was a close match. And we actually...
Probably shouldn't have even got a swing in the final fight.
I give you some very good critique, Steve. And it was entertaining. We had a lot of focus on the match because we knew it would finish before this one. So there's plenty to watch. And hopefully you come back better next match you play. So Robbo has done what you said, Marty, but not play the yellow, which I thought was absolutely crazy. But he's decided that this will go inside the yellow and open up the other red. Now, I didn't actually even see this.
I didn't see this, so this is good perspective from Marc, looking around the table to see what his options are.
Jeez, he played that well. I actually suck at playing those shots.
Yeah.
Probably why I didn't see it.
Now he's going to leave red on the bottom cushion until last. So he's going to need to have a little bit of angle on it and come up past the yellows for the black down the cushion.
Don't be surprised if he screws right back here.
We'll have a bit of a shot to nothing though.
No, he's going to screw right back and play for it now.
I don't think that's a good shot.
I actually expected him to do that because, one, if he misses the pot, leaves nothing.
I think
2, this is a shot to nothing, and then the next one, it's just over the hole, and all you've got to do is get like anywhere up the table, right-hand side of the table. So I think this was the right way.
Had he not gone this way and potted the ball over the pocket first, he would have had a shot to nothing anyway. Although he was going to leave Gavin a good chance of snookering. That's the difference, I think.
Yeah. But you say that.
Fair enough.
What if he goes for the pot? Because he's got to give it a little bit to bring the white back up, and it doesn't cover. This is guaranteed.
I think that would be almost impossible.
You think it's almost impossible?
It would have jawed and gone towards the black and the yellows, so would not have left the pot on.
We will never know now because he is going to play this ball over the hole last. And he's just made sure 100% that he is out on the ball.
That's a situation where he had about 10 feet of table to land in.
So many people...
Drag this in.
Wow. So many people will try and land really neat on that before the centre pocket and snooker themselves.
Or going off.
Or going off. Because they want to be close to the black.
Yeah.
And that's just a good example of, well, who cares as long as you've got a shot. And he's dragged it in that delicately anyway.
And if that black sat over the pocket, he was forcing Gavin to play the yellows away.
Yeah, Gavin needed a miracle shot.
Yeah. So Marc's pushed out a little lead again.
So he's going 8-5 and he's about to bust out the big shoulder break.
He should perhaps try and emulate his brother's cueing action and break left-handed.
Big power break there from Robbo.
And that is dirty. There's dirty balls everywhere.
It's clustered up, no surprises.
The black and the yellow, the cluster of the reds and the yellow on the left-hand side. Yellows are the better ball here. Is there a starter? Yes, there is. And the ball in the open near the black is on. It's a long pot, and Gavin should back himself to get that in.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. This is one of those shots that when you're absolutely flying, you play this, you play it off the yellow, you play it with right hand side, pick the gap and cannon the balls out. Like, this is the sort of shot you play when you're flying. I'll tell you what, that's turned out horrible for the fella. It's actually a pretty solid pot, Gav.
I think he's got the angle. That little cluster of reds and yellows there, if he can clip very thin off the yellow closest to the white, he'll push into the red, and that red will push the other yellow out a little bit open as well. And he'll probably leave it safe white. Now he's going to try and cover that pocket though.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
It's not terrible, but it's not amazing.
Do you know, I actually liked playing that yellow. It's in between the three reds, full ball to the side run, leaving the white hard up inside there.
Yeah, if he had a full ball swing at that yellow, that's not a bad option. Nice, safe white. Marc's just going to leave him long.
And this is the problem. He's just going to put him in an area that sucks. Bring the red down into play.
That's interesting the way Marc played that. He's played that rail first, and I quite like it. I would have naturally looked at that shot, but I quite like how he's done that.
I actually didn't even see that shot, and I think that's an excellent shot. Like, I just didn't see to play it cushion first.
Yeah. It made it far simpler to just cue plain ball through the shot. And he's played it very well.
And a good white, which was the aim of the shot. He's just bringing a red into play because it's, you know.
So Gavin's going to push a yellow down.
Wow, he's played that badly. But
hasn't left Marc an enormous number of options down the bottom here. He's covered the kind of two open ones.
See, I don't like
Marc's
potting
going
this.
to play off the cushion and bring this one down now too.
Oh,
and have a look at that.
Well, he'll consider himself a little unlucky. But have a look at this pack, right? This red that is above the cluster. Okay, so you've got this like...
Oh, you think the 5-ball plant's on?
Yeah, but don't play for the plant to pot it, but
just to push it over the pocket.
Yeah, just open stuff up a little bit and put yourself in a commanding position. Wow.
That's interesting.
Robert's just said, you know what? You can't pot out.
For those who weren't following along at home, Jamie's talking about playing the red at the top of that cluster into the yellow, into the red, into the yellow, which would then push the red nearest to the bottom left cushion down over the pocket.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be neat. It just needs to be in the way. The other red frees up a little bit as well, and it just gives you a little bit of separation and you maintain control. Gav might be better off smashing this. Yeah, I like that.
That's not bad. That was a bit crazy for Marc. That's the only reason you play that is because you're a few frames in front. You would never play that otherwise.
I don't know. I think if you asked him if he'd ever play that again, he'd say the same answer because Gav had to just play for complete luck there, and he's just almost got the best result of all time.
Like Robbo was not a huge favourite. He was in front.
Anything can happen there. He could have pot a red. He's just smashed the pack open and hoped for a result.
But Robbo was in as much of a mess there as Gavin was.
Agree, but what I'm saying is by smashing them open, you don't know that a red isn't going to go over this pocket, for example, and put you in trouble.
But Gavin didn't have to do that. He could have chipped one out and then covered, and he would have been in a better position than he was before.
Yeah, and Robbo knows this, so he says, well, this black is a problem for me, so I'll eliminate it, and there's a very good chance I'll still get back to the table, and then I'll have options available again. That's his thought process there. I personally like the way Gav belted this.
There he goes.
I mean, he's almost got the best result of all time. And if you want to be...
Let's be frank, there was not a lot of analysis on where balls were going.
No, but he kind of just beat me to the punch. I said, you might be worth bashing this, and he's already done it.
And he did it, yeah. That's what I mean.
You know, he gets 2 balls over this hole where the black is, but he just didn't land on another one. If he had landed on another one, it would have been huge for him. You know, I know Robbo didn't expect to be this much trouble.
But he's kind of forced Gavin to do something. Like that's why I don't agree with the shot.
I like this shot.
It's very well played, isn't it? Now the black still goes, but Gavin can't see any other yellow apart from the one he's closest to.
Well, this yellow on the left-hand side of the table, that's the real problem ball. I'd like to see Gav play the yellow off the red to the left of the black and try and pot it in the bottom left.
Yeah, that's a pretty good option, Jamie.
You can actually...
I'm looking around at what I can see here. What about, can he cut it to the right centre off that red? That's super thin, isn't it?
Right centre. Oh, that's crazy. I think he's playing the shot I suggested, maybe. Yeah, he is.
He is, yeah.
He's hit it high.
He tried.
Yeah, he's hit it high, and he hasn't controlled the wide either.
He's got to try and cover this black neat now. Has he got any other options?
Geez, I'll tell you what, Marty.
The yellow that he's nearest to does cover the bottom left pocket. It's not going to leave him... Like, Robbo's got balls in such a good position, it's hard to leave a really safe white.
I'm really tempted to... Like, playing this dead weight and covering the black is actually a really hard shot on these tables because they do drift a bit.
You think take it on?
Yeah, I'm tempted to just take this on.
Side?
Yep, try and pick the gap, in fact.
Oh, to go back inside the black.
Yep.
Yep.
Look at this. Well, he's cannon it, but horribly, and that's a risk when you play for cannons. That's why I'm more wanting to look at where the white's going. If I can pick the gap rather than cannon it.
Well, he may have. It was just a very difficult shot.
Can he sneak through the gap here to in the middle?
Oh, that's interesting. He could, the yellow on the left-hand side, he could double back inside the black. He's going to lose the white.
I'll tell you what.
But he might not have an option.
You can't do shit here. All you can do is double this yellow out with side and take the white between the gap, the bottom 2 reds, and try and leave the white ball on the bottom rail and leave him a tough shot. Yeah, that's the only shot I can see. Try and get a good white.
It's hard to know if he would be on that red in the left hand. It looks slightly higher of the pocket. He can double this back inside the black.
Yeah, I mean, if you do that, it's pretty much going for it.
I don't know if he's got much choice.
What's he doing? I think he's playing the shot I said, is he? He has. I am a genius at picking Gav's shots. I am a freak at his shots, picking what he does.
Wow.
I just think it's the right percentage shot. Like, it's just...
I think
he's
in a world of hurt. He's in a world of hurt. Yep.
Yeah, and I knew this shot was coming up anyway.
Of course.
It was just it was a stay alive shot for one more. And now you play the Hail Mary off a side rail, try and loop the ball.
No, I think it's harder now. I think before he had a Hail Mary, but there was 2 options. He could, if it potted, if it went in, he was still going. If it covered the pocket, he was still in the frame.
Yeah, good call.
Now, still was an incredibly low percentage shot, but not as low as the one he's on now.
No, this is, like I said, he needs heaps of luck.
He probably needs to come off 2 cushions here to get something like.
What's he got the gap here?
Has he got a 1 cushion escape? I think he's trying to play.
Oh, this is crazy. Oh no, he's killing the black maybe.
Killing the black is.
What is he?
Not his worst option, I'd say.
Got to avoid the in off as well.
He doesn't want to go in off. Leaving Marc up in the ball end is no good. And if he can cover this pocket.
Gavin Roberts, I think you have been a little unlucky there to not cover that a bit neater. That is an excellently thought out shot. Hasn't really left an opening pot. Look at this. He's been probably a touch unlucky there to leave that gap.
Yeah, just a little bit closer, and he's tempting fate by dropping the ball in the pocket.
Good thinking shot. I really enjoyed watching that shot. Some people, that's a good shot from Robbo as well. Some people like to watch big outs. I like to watch smart, creative shots like that I should have probably seen and didn't.
Yeah. Now, is he on this? Is that ball that he just pushed to that jaw near the centre?
I think it goes easy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he just doubles this. If he gets it, he's home for sure. If he doesn't get it,
good pot.
Yeah, he's home now.
Yeah, he can play this red in the open to the top right corner and get close to his work for that ball in the centre.
Interesting to see if he plays this with the touch it with a bunch of side.
He can play this off the other red if he wants to, if it's not on neat.
Yeah, wow, that went so easy. That was like way easier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
The only thing he's got to not do here is just avoid the
Don't
yellow.
smoke himself, yeah, just give it plenty.
And once again, probably come centre table now.
Had just enough strength in his shoulder to get through that shot.
And he's got a stun off this, so he's got to put a bit of cue power in this. His shoulder holds up okay, and Robbo goes 9-5 up.
9-5 up. He's just pulled away, and
actually, I'm not enjoying this.
Almost worth calling it here, Jamie. I think Marc almost can't lose now.
No, he probably can't. But I'm not enjoying the fact that 9-all Dale Watson and Terry Shields. I'm not enjoying watching Robbo play a lot of tactical frames because I don't want his mindset to be like that next week. I want him to be attacking the game. And now that he'll hear me say that on commentary, because he will go back and watch this tomorrow.
Yep.
He's got to wonder to himself, is he saying that as a reverse psychological comment, or is that what he really wants?
Get yourself a couple of appointments at the physio and some deep heat, Marc.
Yeah.
Just start working that shoulder tonight.
I'll get me stitches out the same day we play, and it'll all be good. No, to be fair to Robert, he did ask me, he did say if things, if it wasn't healed well or whatever, that we could work something out to play at a more convenient time, but I said I'll be right.
Now, Gav, we'd really like to see you just to peg this back one or two to put some doubt in.
Yeah, like from a selfish point of view, lose quick so I can drive home. But from an entertainment point of view, which I'm actually all about, win a few frames in a row, make it 9-8, get it interesting, put Robbo under a bit of pressure. Although I have made the comment, I don't really think Robbo feels pressure that much. He's got a lot of experience now, and he's played, at the highest level multiple times.
Yeah,
he kind of matches like this, it kind of settles for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Gavin took the right balls there, and there is still a lot of work to do for Marc Robertson, but that's a terrible miss.
Oh, well, at least he's on him, I guess.
Gavin will be fuming.
And look at this, Robbo instantly goes into cover mode.
Yeah.
Says, I'll cover this pocket badly.
Badly, yeah. Tried to be a bit cute with the white there, I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And may have actually got a result. He may have covered those two near the right centre, so it left Gavin a very tricky starter. Perhaps the one near the left centre to the top right. Now he thinks he can't pot this surely. He must be just covering. He's going to open some of Marc's balls up too.
He's going to go berserk. I think he's going to go into Steve Jamieson mode. He is.
Oh,
that is ridiculously unlucky. Like,
that is ridiculous.
That really is unlucky. It was a good pot.
Well,
to pot the yellow and the white especially.
He knew that he was going into that ball and it was going somewhere.
You play it another 25 times, Marty, and you will not get that result.
He's unlucky. I'm not sure he had to play it back.
Now, Robbo, you're 9-5 up. You're a wanker if you don't play this ball in the corner and stun into the pack.
Those two on the right-hand side, yeah. you do it well, you'll just...
Actually, he's going to do it off the ball in the middle, I think. This is what I'm talking about, natural angles.
Surely this is harder. Where's the natural angle here?
I think he wanted to come through further. He's got the gap between black and reds off the bottom cushion into him. That's the shot that he's played for. Now he's got to use a little bit of side to do it.
No, he's going to use... Oh, I see.
Oh, no, he was playing ball. See, he's judged it well.
He has
played
judged it very well.
And that's what I was talking about earlier, about picking natural angles to get cannons. See, that looked like he was a lot straighter than what he was on the camera. But in actual fact, his angle was perfect. And he did check where he wanted to be.
Yep. And Marc now a red-hot favourite to go on the hill.
Yeah, he's a difficult customer to keep up with for a full duration of a match. And that's why he hasn't lost many matches.
Just rarely makes a mistake, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the grindy style of game as well. But it's just his commitment to the outs are rarely failed. And, you know, he feeds off people making the commitment to the out and then chopping them up. Has a double-edged effect, so... Yeah, and that's what we've seen here. Gav's probably missed at least 4 opportunities that I can think of to clinch frames.
Yep.
Yeah, this score line's much closer.
Walked into mop up an easy out.
And if you've recently joined us, no, that is not the trophy we're playing for on screen. That's Marc Robertson's state team trophy, and I think maybe singles trophy as well, because he just wanted to show off tonight. He thought he'd bring him in for the crowd to see and just make sure Dan caught him on camera. Well done, Robbo. And that's a good break.
That's a good break.
So Robbo's shoulder has just developed.
Just loosened up. When he's gotten on the hill, it's just loosened up.
Some of the deep heats kicked in from 3 days ago.
Now, yellows are probably the ball here. That he's got one dirty one down the bottom right. And now he's looking at reds.
I like reds here.
Okay.
I just feel there's more control of the frame to be had on reds.
Because we get on this dirty one here. That's well done. So he's got only one tricky one down the bottom left, which can use the one on the rail to nudge the yellow.
Yeah, and that looks perfect. You do have to play this with good confidence down the rail, though.
See, what's he playing? Oh, the plant must be on.
Oh, wow. Didn't even see that shot.
That's
Great
yeah,
shot.
great. Well, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, that is a very well picked out shot. In fact, a shot that really we should be seeing and didn't.
Yeah, on the camera, you should be able to spot that. Yeah. Now, what about this black, Jamie, to the right centre, I guess?
Yeah, I think
I'm assuming it doesn't go to the bottom right.
I think you'll find Robbo will leave this ball. It's on the side cushion area till last, but he'll try and get an angle just to play the natural run through off the bottom cushion for the middle. No, he's played for it. Well, I don't know if he's actually played for it now or if he's overplayed. However, it's a bad shot.
Now, he's fortunate enough here that the white will actually naturally come out for the other red.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good recovery shot, and he's landed perfect.
Yeah.
Well, not perfect, but good enough.
But he'll check this up off the rail a bit.
Yeah, it's not the simplest shot. Look how straight it looks there, but we know it's not from the other angle that we saw.
Now he can play this either for the same pocket.
Do not be surprised if he deep screws up the rail and back down the table here.
I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll play
a
little bit of check and put the black back in the same pocket.
No, he's playing my shot.
I'm going to watch him load up.
I am having a field day with calling good shots tonight. What is going on? This is not normal. Yes, I've had some bubbers, but I've called a lot of shots.
That surprises me, that shot. But
I think there was a lot more angle to check that up than what you'd think because of the little white. If it's a heavy white, then yep, I totally agree with the check shot. This is missable. And he has missed that by about 16 foot, if that's possible on these tables.
It's almost like he tried to play the markers double.
Yeah, most people would have tried to clean pot there, but Robbo thought he'd double. Gavin just checking for a touching ball.
That's probably Robbo's worst pot attempt of the match.
Yeah, it was very lazy. I think, well, you know what? Who cares? I'm 10, whatever, up 10-5.
10-5 up, yeah. I'm going to get a few more swings at blacks, yeah. Still, he'll be a little bit annoyed with himself.
Well, he will be because he loves to punish and he loves to be perfect, so he will be annoyed with it.
Now,
Gav's got some options
here. Gav's got some options here, but he's just trying to figure out where can I get the best white ball safety. I don't think he's going for the out here.
No.
I think he's going to try and chip one of his dirty yellows off.
Well, if this is me, I'll play for the plant here.
I think you play for the plant, yeah, and just accept if you don't get it.
Jeez, I'll tell you what, he might have left a cut on here.
He's left a cut on, yeah. Oh, no, he's...
No, I reckon it's potable. But
well, I did see Gavin put his hand up, that's all.
He's swerving.
Yeah, this is probably just lying.
He does that stupid little get down and pretend he's queuing at shots, but doesn't really. Maybe it is.
You managed to shake off your up periscope move, like what? You probably can shake off that.
I don't know, mate. The periscope's like I can't avoid the periscope, unfortunately. I can't wink.
Do you still do it?
Yeah, I used to cover my hand. I used to put my palm over my eye.
Yeah, that's
and then everyone
the move I'm
started
talking
calling
about.
me a pirate. So I tried to disguise it by just putting my fingers there, and then now I've got this like periscope-looking thing, and it looks. I've actually seen myself on camera. I look like an absolute imbecile, but I just, I can't not do it. Unfortunately, I can't see gaps and stuff like that unless I actually cover an eye. I cannot wink, so I will continue to look like a moron for the rest of my pool days.
Now, Gavin should probably be having a dip here. He's going to have a shot to nothing for that.
I'll tell you what, I know. Oh shit, he's gone in off.
Don't go in off, Gavin.
Oh, that's just. That's actually a poor shot.
That is the match. That is a poor shot. Yeah.
I actually know exactly how Gav feels there. He's so determined to get so neat on that yellow to make it unmissable.
Oh, he's put his finger down where he was trying to get, but that was a very precise position to get to from that.
And Robbo strawberries his way to the win in the end.
11-5. He's actually run away with it.
Dale Watson is 10-9 up now against Terry Shields.
On the heel against Terry Shields. Terry has moved all of his hair and lost all of his power. Just trimmed the beard and got the haircut. Probably lost a kilo in hair, I'd say.
If Colby's still watching, which I'm not sure if she is, I've just opened up the messages you sent me. Alone.
Terry, it looks like, is he on that Dan? It's hard to tell if he's on this yellow or not.
So, just to recap, Mick Scary, the king of dodging commentary with me, loser, will play Butters next week, and I will be playing Robbo. They will both be streamed. Not sure who will be commentating yet. I might just whack the headset on just to take the piss. And, well, this is the best angle we can get for now on this match.
Yeah.
Terry on the yellows.
Terry in a little bit of pain here. He must win this frame to stay alive.
And Dale Watson is not afraid to play a snooker and tie people down either, but also not afraid to attack the game when the balls are on. I like his game, actually. I think it's come a long way. I think he's improved. I made one critique about Dale's game a while ago. To be fair to him, I don't know whether he's improved it that much or not because I haven't actually played him for a fair while now, but it was just, I think his long game needed work. And I need to be a bit more quiet because he's about a foot away from me.
He's very close to us right here. He's assessing the situation now quite well. I think he should be attacking this out, Jamie, but it looks like he's going to try and play snooker.
You think you should take this ball that we can see right now, do you? He's looking at it. I think he's taking your advice.
We're right behind this shot.
I think he heard you.
And I think this is actually a very Straightforward pot.
He has.
There he goes.
He even played it as a shot to nothing. Look at that. Yeah, if he doesn't,
It might be a little awkward. Might be a little awkward pot,
gotta play.
but he's getting down very quickly on this. Just a little soft start.
Yeah, he's played it well.
Yeah, and Dale is now attacking this out.
Yeah, now this looks straight at these on camera. He's actually about half ball on this. But he's heading into territory that is of his own kind. Good little cannon there, and you would now expect him to mop up this match.
He should mop up and win this match, yes.
Not a huge fan of that shot.
It's a little awkward. He has to play the ball under the pocket now.
Should still be all right, but you've just got to land.
Probably give himself options here.
Yeah, this is one of those shots where you just need to land on a bit of a string. And I think
Pretty good.
how's his angle, Marty? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's reasonably straight on this ball to centre.
If he's got angle going into the side cushion, that would be favourable because then he can just run through. You want to land just off straight on this last red.
It's on. That one's on camera, mate. Robbo's just taking his trophies off camera.
Robbo's come over just to point out, just in case we didn't see his trophies.
Do you need a hand holding those, mate? Is your shoulder okay? That's a good pot from Dale. He's got himself a nice straight black to finish this match.
11-9. And Dale Watson has won 11-9.
Well done, Dale Watson.
And Dan says, yay, we can all go home.
Dan's called the...
So thanks, guys, for tuning in. I hope you were entertained by both matches. Different contrasts of styles there, and very entertaining nonetheless. And we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, everyone.
No, you did it last week too.